तो आज के हमारे सेशन का कौन सा डे आ गया जी, इस रिफ्रेशर कोर्स के?
11 सर।
11।
जी जी। हाँ माधवी मैम, आप कल पूछ रहे थे ना कि जो रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो उनके लिंक कब शेयर किए जाएंगे।
जी सर जी।
तो जो लाइव सेशन रहे हैं अब तक के, वो सब यूट्यूब चैनल पे आप देख सकते हैं।
हाँ
जो
जी
कल
सर।
का सेशन था वो अपडेट हो गया होगा, उस पे
ओके।
अपलोड हो गया होगा, आई मीन।
ठीक
तो
है
सारे
सर।
सेशन वहीं पे रहेंगे जी।
ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
जी जी। बस कुछ ही मिनटों में ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं रिसोर्स पर्सन आज के हमारे। सुधांशु जी, मौसम के क्या हाल है आपके देहरादून में?
Sir, cold. It's getting cold. Good morning.
जी गुड मॉर्निंग।
ठंडा शुरू हो गया यहाँ तो।
जी
और
जी।
सुबह इट्स अ बिट प्लीजेंट।
जी
सुबह
गुड।
8:30 हो जाती है, बट 3:30 बजते बजते ठंडा शुरू हो जाता है।
जी जी।
तो अच्छा है सर, अभी तो ठंड का आनंद ले रहे हैं रिफ्रेशर के साथ।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, बहुत खूब। नवीन जी, आपके यहाँ स्मोक के क्या हाल है?
स्मोक बिल्कुल पूरी तरह हैवी पोल्यूशन है।
जी देखो, आपने तो इलाके की उससे बात करी है, सुधांशु जी ठंडे प्रदेश से हैं तो उनसे मौसम के बारे में पूछ लिया। दिल्ली वालों से तो हम स्मोक के ही
बिल्कुल,
पूछ सकते
रोहिणी में तो
हैं।
सीवियर।
जी। जयप्रकाश जी, आपके ग्रुप मेंबर से बात हो गई थी, कल आपका नंबर मांग रहे थे सेशन खत्म होने के बाद।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
जी गुड मॉर्निंग। आपका जो आपके ग्रुप मेंबर्स हैं बाकी के, सुचित्रा जी और सब, वो आपके कॉन्टेक्ट नंबर पूछ रहे थे, तो आपकी बात हो
ठीक
गई
है
थी
सर, मैं
उनसे?
बात कर लेता हूँ। नहीं हुई
अच्छा,
है,
अभी
मैं
बात
कर
हुई नहीं
लेता हूँ
है।
सर।
जी।
ठीक है जी सर।
शैलेंद्र जी गुड मॉर्निंग।
ये देखो आ गए शैलेंद्र सर, कल सबको
गुड
डरा
मॉर्निंग सर, गुड मॉर्निंग।
कल
जी जी।
सबको डरा दिए उन्होंने, टेस्ट किए और अब आ गए मुस्कुरा रहे हैं।
नहीं तो ऑफ कोर्स हार्ड होगा टेस्ट, उसमें क्या है, सही बात है। आई हैव फेस्ड 2 टाइम्स ना।
अब ना भी होगा तो आप क्या 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 जरूर करा दोगे अब।
सर आपको
ज्यादा
एक्सपीरियंस है ना, आप हेल्प कर देना सबकी।
ज्यादा नंबर लाने के 2 ही तरीके हैं, या तो खुद पढ़ लो या दूसरों को डरा दो। ठीक है।
हाथरस वाला व्यंग कर रहे हैं शैलेंद्र जी आप।
हैं?
हाथरस वाला व्यंग कर रहे हैं हमारे साथ।
और सुधांशु जी कैसे हैं?
बस सर बढ़िया, प्रभु की कृपा है। आप कैसे हैं?
बस बढ़िया। यहाँ भी प्रभु की कृपा है, हम तो वृक्ष क्षेत्र में बैठे हुए हैं, तो यहाँ पे तो
बिल्कुल।
परिस्थिति है।
It's good actually. We all are, able to assemble together in a common virtual place. बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है एंड एक दूसरे को मोस्टली हम वॉइसेस के बेस पे जान पा रहे हैं, फिजिकल इंटरेक्शन नहीं है या
ये भी अच्छा।
दैट्स गुड।
पूनम कुमार जी, आपने बताया था ना कि आपने एनओसी जो सबमिट कराई थी, मेल करी थी, उसमें अटैचमेंट कोई नहीं है। तो एक बार आप दोबारा चेक कर लें, जो आपने मेल चेक भेजी थी उसमें अटैचमेंट
सर
नहीं थी, तो आप जी।
मैंने दोबारा सेंड कर दिए सर कल।
हाँ फिर ठीक है, कल शायद आपको फोन आया होगा।
नहीं, कॉल लिया है सर, मैंने देख लिया था, अटैचमेंट हो नहीं पाया उसमें
हाँ
गलती
हाँ
से।
हाँ जी,
दोबारा सेंड कर दी सर मैंने।
ठीक है ठीक है।
पवन सर,
जी जी
मैं कह रहा था कि 10 को हमारा सेशन ये कंप्लीट हो रहा है ना प्रोग्राम,
जी, मंडे।
तो हमें 10 तारीख को ही रिलीविंग मिल जाएगा ना, रिलीविंग ऑर्डर्स
जी
मेल पे मिल जाएंगे ना हम लोगों को?
जी, जो भी है वो मुझे उसके बारे में देखो शेफाली नागपाल मैम से कंसल्ट करना होगा, जो भी
हाँ,
रहेगा।
एक बार आप पूछ लीजिएगा, और अगर सर्टिफिकेट भी उसी दिन मिल जाए तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा, सो दैट नेक्स्ट डे वी कैन जॉइन अवर यूनिवर्सिटीज।
जी, आई विल लेट यू नो।
नहीं सुधांशु जी, रिलीविंग लेटर तो अर्जेंट है, ज्वाइन नहीं पड़ेगा, रिलीविंग लेटर तो जरूरी है।
हाँ हाँ,
Pavan sir, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday, 10th.
ट्यूसडे।
हाँ जी।
हाँ वो बेसिक है ना, उसके बिना तो फिर
नहीं
कीप ऑन
रिलीविंग
इट।
लेटर तो या अर्जेंट है,
हाँ
रिलीविंग लेटर तो।
हाँ, अदरवाइज हम ट्रेनिंग में ही कहलाएंगे, हम ट्रेनिंग ही
नहीं
करेंगे।
डिले तो कर ही नहीं सकते उसमें।
नमस्कार सर सभी को।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार दीपक नरवाल जी।
सर एक मेरे रिलीविंग चेक कर ली सर, मैंने दोबारा वैसे एक्चुअली सेंड कर दिए कल।
ठीक है जी, चेक कर लेंगे।
प्लीज उस बता देना सर।
जी जी।
आप सभी लोग अपने इंस्टीट्यूट से ज्वाइन कर रखा है ये ऑनलाइन, या आप लोगों को ड्यूटी लीव मिला है?
मुझे तो रिलीविंग मिला है नवीन।
ओके
हाँ मैंने भी ऑब्टेन किया है really।
ओके, सो यू पीपल आर अटेंडिंग फ्रॉम योर रिस्पेक्टिव होम्स?
हाँ एक्चुअली वी आर रेजिडेंशियल यूनिवर्सिटी, सो
ओके,
दैट्स व्हाई।
विदाउट रिलीविंग भी ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं क्या? ये कैसा सिस्टम है?
सर एक्चुअली में एक लेटर आया हुआ है, उस लेटर में क्या है कि एनओसी देनी है, रिलीविंग नहीं होगा, और अपने रिस्पेक्टिव कॉलेज में जाके ही वो अटेंड करेगा सर।
जी नमस्कार सर, स्वागत है आपका सर।
नमस्कार।
आपका माइक म्यूट है सर।
मेरा वॉइस अभी सुन रहे हैं आप लोग?
सर सुन रहे हैं, बिल्कुल सुन रहे हैं सर, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
गुड मॉर्निंग टू एवरीबॉडी।
गुड मॉर्निंग
सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
गुड मॉर्निंग टू पवन जी एंड ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
जी,
wish you a very good morning. How
गुड
many
मॉर्निंग। गुड
how many of you have joined?
गुड मॉर्निंग प्रोफेसर
42 सर।
42. What is the how many? It is 31. I think they have joined.
No sir, 42 have joined sir.
42. अच्छा, okay. All they have joined. Okay, fine.
Yes sir. So प्रोफेसर मित्रा जी जो है आज के हमारे रिसोर्स पर्संस रहेंगे। सर मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं भगत फूल सिंह महिला विश्वविद्यालय की तरफ से, यूजीसी एचआरडीसी की तरफ से, और सभी प्रतिभागियों की तरफ से, और अपनी तरफ से सर आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर आज के इस कार्यक्रम में, इस सत्र में सर।
बहुत धन्यवाद।
जी जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर आपका, आपने हमें अपना कीमती समय दिया सर। और मैं आपका परिचय कराना चाहूंगा सभी प्रतिभागियों से सर। Professor Mitra has been serving as professor at postgraduate Department of Commerce, University of North Bengal. He has postgraduate teaching experience of more than 25 years. He also acted as honorary director of UGC-HRDC of North Bengal University. He served as Dean School of Professional Studies, Sikkim University, a central university. He also act as as a head of Department of Management, University of North Bengal, and also the Director of Distance Education, University of North Bengal. Till date, Sir has published 6 books and 74 research articles in different national and international journals. He has been invited more than 100 times to deliver lecture as a resource person in different universities and institute in India. He has chaired 34 technical sessions in different national and international seminars and conferences. Till date, he has successfully guided 7 scholars leading to PhD degree in commerce. He has successfully completed one UGC-sponsored major research project in commerce. Professor Mitra has already organized 9 seminars and symposium at North Bengal University. Professor Mitra has been acting as a member of several administrative committees, expert committees, postgraduate board of studies, and research board of studies in several Indian universities. He was awarded Rashtriya Vidya Saraswati Puruskar by the International Institute of Management for his outstanding contribution in the field of commerce and management studies in the year 2010. सर एक बार पुनः आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर आज के इस कार्यक्रम में.
धन्यवाद पवन कुमार जी for your very brief introduction, and you have stated a lot of things about me. I may not deserve that one. So actually, I am very much thankful to you as well as very good friend of mine, Professor Shefali Nakwal, madam. Actually, under his able leadership, your HRDC of of your university has been growing up, and I am really thankful to her. She invited me to deliver lectures. Previously, physically, I thrice visited your university, twice, I think. So it is a great privilege on my part to deliver lecture in this August gathering. Actually, I will discuss on time management and talent management, okay? Because I have seen that people are from commerce and management fraternity, okay? So I will start my deliberations within few minutes, okay? Namaskar.
Sir, namaskar. Thank you, sir. Rakesh Madhurji, please mute your mic. जी, thank you.
तांशु जी आपने तो बांग्ला में ट्रांसलेशन कर लिया इतनी जल्दी?
मैं एक्चुअली थोड़ा बहुत सीख रहा हूँ तो बोलना तो मैं
ट्रांसलेशन है तो सही,
लिखना मैं अभी ट्रांसलेटर वगैरह से कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. एक्चुअली मुझे किशोर कुमार के सॉन्ग्स बड़े पसंद हैं. किशोर कुमार
नहीं पसंद तो हमें भी, कि बांग्ला इतनी जल्दी आ जाएगी.
तो सुधांशु जी वैलिडिक्टरी में एक शतराम आपका भी रख लेते हैं किशोर कुमार की याद में.
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल. हम तो तैयार हैं.
जी जी, वाह सर.
आप लोग तैयार है नहीं, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है.
अच्छा ठीक है, माइक ऑन करो, वीडियो ऑन करो. কি হয়েছে এত ভয় কি আছে বলবো আমি? তাহলে এবার এখন ওটাকে কি করে আনবো? স্টার্ট করব. Am I audible?
Sir, yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
So let me start my presentation, okay?
Sir.
Is the screen visible to you?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the
Yes, sir.
screen? Okay.
Yes.
So let me start with the time management. Okay, so one of the most important aspects in these modern days, where from we have been lacking so far, regarding management of our time. I think that whenever we are talking about talent management, we are talking about human resource management, we are all these sorts of management. If we think in detail, in a very deeper way, you will be just understanding that among all the management so far, time management is considered to be the most important form of management in this present scenario. So we can say that, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So before going to the we should know what is time. That is very important. That is concept of time and management of time. So whenever we can talk about the concept of time, we can say that time has been ascribed many meanings to suit our ideas and requirements. Many people has ascribed different meanings so that it can suit our ideas as well as our requirements. And it is only the time which definitely changes over the period. We cannot stop the movement of time. There is a English proverb that time and tide wait for none. So with the passage of time, everything gets changed. If we think about our childhood, we can see that in our childhood, our mode of thinking, our lifestyle, our behavioral pattern, everything was different to what we are today regarding our behavioral pattern, regarding our, what we can say, attitude towards the people, regarding our, what I can say, the concepts about a particular matter. So we can say that time is the dimension within which the things get changed. Time is a frame of reference by which the occurrence and sequence of activities can be understood and described. So it is a frame of reference. Whenever we say that there is an old proverb, that old is gold, we say that whatever we always think about our glorious past. We want to, everybody of us want to cherish just thinking about our past days. The days will never come back again in our life. So whenever we have been thinking something today with reference to the past, then definitely time has got a frame of reference, and by which the occurrence and sequence actually changes over a period of time. That is the occurrence and the sequence of activities which can be understood as well as which can be described. Time is the period during which an action or process continues. Time is the period during which we can continue, or which an action or process continues. So actually we cannot stop our action. The action goes on continuing over a period of time. Now the next point is, but what is the great paradox? The great paradox is, everybody, if you say to an unemployed person, if you say, is it not audible? Huh?
Audible, sir.
Audible, sir, audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Audible.
Audible, sir.
Can you see the screen?
Google Drive में save कर लिया
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
फिर वहीं के वहीं as it is using
Please mute, otherwise
वो भाई बता देगा ना, वो भाई मेरे गूगल ड्राइव पे सारे नंबर हमने सेव कर दिया कर,
हाँ,
तो फिर हम लोग का फोन वगैरह फॉर्मेट हो जाता, फिर
क्या बोल रहे हैं, हम सुन नहीं रहा है। So
वो
please
तो चलो तो अपने काम का तो कोई मिलाओगा बाई चांस आपने काम हो जाए फिर नंबर ना हो तो ठीक रखेंगे।
जयप्रकाश जी आपका माइक म्यूट कीजिए प्लीज।
ऑफिस में करते हो
please
डॉक्टर
mute
जयप्रकाश जी प्लीज म्यूट योर माइक।
अच्छा क्या कर रहे हो
now।
क्या कर रहे हो
एक चीज
जयप्रकाश जी सुन रहे हैं आप?
अच्छा अच्छा एक बात पूछनी थी तो यही ऑफिस तो आ गया मेरे
सॉरी फॉर द
ख्याल दूर आ गया ना
डिस्टर्बेंस, गिव मी अ मिनट।
अच्छा अच्छा हाँ हाँ वो ठीक है मैंने तो देखी तो है नहीं बाकी सुना था बस मारेंगे आपकी दया रही तो एचएससी में कौन सा थे जान पहचान
शिखा ये जयप्रकाश जी
तो ऐसा है
हेलो
नहीं कोई साथी जान पहचान को वो एक काम
माइक को थोड़ा सा
करें
म्यूट करके
फोन
बोलिए
पे
ना,
पूछने
बात
वाला
सुन
हाँ
नहीं
सर
रही।
वो कर रहे हैं सर, म्यूट कर
प्लीज
रहे हैं
म्यूट
इनको,
योर माइक।
म्यूट
Please,
कर रहे हैं
please
सर।
ask the participant Jai Prakash ji or somebody else to
एक
mute
बात यह है चलो मैं बात
mic.
बता दूं आप एक आप देखिए फिर
सर वो
जैसे
कर रहे हैं,
करते हैं
टेक्निकल
कुछ
टीम
देने
के पास है चार्ज, वो कर रहे हैं इनको
मैंने
म्यूट सर।
घूमना पड़ेगा तो
आई एम रियली सॉरी
वो
फॉर दिस।
मिसी जाड़ा हो गया उस स्टेनोटाइपिस्ट का
और अगर
फाइनल
आपको कोई
सिलेक्शन
क्वेश्चन पूछना है तो बाद में
रिजल्ट आउट हो गया 30 तारीख में मन्ना पता लग गया आज
प्लीज प्लीज
न्यू
बात में
पता करना है उनके डिपार्टमेंट या डॉक्यूमेंट वेरिफिकेशन कद के करवाऊंगी
शिखा
बस
करो
इतना
भैया
पता
इनको
करना
जल्दी।
हाँ जी स्टेनो हिंदी है बाकी सारी कैटेगरी आ रही है स्टेनो हिंदी इंग्लिश बोथ लैंग्वेज
प्रकाश जी म्यूट योर माइक।
अच्छा इन मैंने आयो मैं देखो एडवर्टाइजमेंट इनका
क्या बात
1900
करते हैं,
जीपी दे रखे थे की है यो
ऐसा होने से तो दिक्कत हो जाएगी सर।
प्लस वो स्पेशल पे
सर सॉरी फॉर द डिस्टर्बेंस सर, आई एम रियली
तो
सॉरी।
यो ये नई मार्क क्या हो रहा है ये
ये बात कैसे आ रही है?
पवन सर, डू यू हैव एडमिन राइट्स हैं आपके पास? आप इनको हटा भी सकते हैं, म्यूट भी
राइट
कर
नहीं
सकते
है
हैं।
एक्चुअली।
नहीं
अच्छा
मैं
अच्छा,
क्यों हटाऊंगा? दूसरा किसी को बोलिए ना, आपका जो कंट्रोलिंग टीम है उसको थोड़ा सा बोलिए कि
हो गया सर, रिजॉल्व हो गया।
सर हो गया सर, आई एम रियली सॉरी
म्यूटेड
सर, मैं क्षमा चाहता हूँ।
Please continue, sir. Please continue.
आई एम रियली सॉरी सर।
एक्चुअली एक चीज है कि हमको सब लोग बोलते हैं कि हम, आप पूछते हैं कि भाई तुम हम ये काम कर लो, तो वो बोलेगा भाई मेरा पास टाइम नहीं है। दिस इज द मेजर प्रॉब्लम विच एवरीबॉडी फेसेस, और रादर व्हाट वी कैन से कि स्टूडेंट को बोलो पढ़ने के लिए, वो बोलेगा मेरा पास टाइम नहीं है। तुम किसी को कोई काम करने बोलो कि भाई ये काम कर लो, वो बोलेगा ठीक है मैं देखता हूं, मेरा पास उतना टाइम नहीं है। दिस इज द ग्रेट पैराडॉक्स। द ग्रेट पैराडॉक्स ऑफ टाइम इज दैट कि no one has enough time. Have you seen anyone in this world who can say कि yes I have enough time in my hand so I can do the work in a befitting manner? I think I have very seldom found this sort of people in my life. Now, yet everyone has all there is. Thus, time is not the problem. The problem is not lying with the time, the availability of time. The problem arises, or the problem lies in its effective utilization. That how do you go for utilizing your time? That is very important. Time is not the problem lies in its effective utilization. That's why we can say that time cannot be retrieved. It is irreversible and irreplaceable. Time cannot be retrieved. जो टाइम चला गया, जो बीत गया, उसको हम लोग कभी भी वापस नहीं ले आ सकते. So this is the major paradox, that time cannot be retrieved. It is simply irreversible as well as it is irreplaceable. That is you cannot replace. That is अभी हम सोचे कि हम हमारा उम्र 54 है, 52, 3, 4 है, तो मैं सोचूं कि मैं अभी 15 साल में जब था वो टाइम में मैं फिर चला जाऊंगा, विल इट बी पॉसिबल? अब भी सोच के देखिए, बिकॉज टाइम इज इरिवर्सिबल as well as we cannot replace it. It is irreplaceable. Time management implies effective use of time as distinct from efficient use of time. We, in case of our time management, we put emphasis on the effective use of time, that how can we use the time in a befitting manner, rather than how can I use it in a most efficient way. There is a difference between effective use and efficient use. So time management always advocates, or it puts an advocacy on effective use of time rather than the efficient use of time. Now, the effectiveness of time means selecting the task with the topmost priority. ये हम लोग का बहुत दिक्कत वाली बात है कि most of us cannot determine properly what is our top priority. कौन कौन काम हमको एकदम प्रायोरिटी से करना पड़ेगा, और कौन कौन काम हमको, और हम कभी भी फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट, सेकंड प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट, थर्ड प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट बहुत कम बनवाते हैं. वी जनरली डू नॉट कंसंट्रेट ऑन प्रिपेयरिंग that this work should be done with the topmost priority, this work will be done with the second utmost priority, and this work will be given the least priority. Sometimes जो सबसे least priority वाला काम में हम जरा ध्यान दे देते हैं. This is our problem. So we cannot do the work in a befitting manner. So हमारा क्या काम है? The effectiveness means selecting the task with the topmost priority. That means कि कितना प्रायोरिटी से हम काम कर सकते हैं. इफेक्टिवनेस मीन्स कि हम लोग कौन काम में ज्यादा ध्यान देना चाहिए, टॉप मोस्ट प्रायोरिटी देना चाहिए. अगर हम इसको सिलेक्ट करना सके, वी कैन सिलेक्ट इट, देन ओनली वी कैन डिटरमाइन इट that how to do it in the best possible manner. So this is the effectiveness of utilization of time. That effectiveness means selecting the task with the topmost priority and then doing it in the best possible manner. Making the right choice about how the time will be used is much more important than doing efficiently whatever the job comes up. This is another important aspect. कि हम सब लोग, the people like us, we are the teacher, you are also all are the, we are all are the teachers, either teaching in the university or in the colleges. So we should have to make a right choice about how the time will be used. It is much more important than doing efficiently whatever the job comes up. तुम्हारा हम लोग का सामने जो कुछ काम आ गए, हम उसके ऊपर एकदम झपड़ पड़े कि हाँ इसको हम मोस्ट एफिशिएंटली काम करना चाहिए. लेकिन वो होता है कि वो काम का कोई करने का कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है. जो हम लोग को करना पड़ेगा, टाइम मैनेजमेंट जो बताते हैं कि हम लोग चॉइस करना है. वी विल हैव टू चॉइस दैट व्हिच वर्क शुड बी गिवन द अटमोस्ट प्रायोरिटी, और उसके बाद उसको काम को हाउ कैन इट बी सॉल्व डन इन द बेस्ट पॉसिबल वे. सो दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट. एंड हम लोग ये छोड़ के क्या करते हैं कि हमारा सामने आज सोच गया सुबह उठ के कि हमको ये काम हाथ में आ गया, वो कोई प्रायोरिटी में ही नहीं है. जैसे हम लोग अब सुबह उठ के हम बहुत सारे आदमी और टीचर लोग भी ये करते हैं कि सुबह उठ के 1-2 घंटा लगा देते हैं व्हाट्सएप चेकिंग करने में. आप सोचे हैं इसमें कोई फायदा नहीं है, लेकिन इट हैज बिकम सम सॉर्ट ऑफ एडिक्शन टू अस. सो वी वेस्ट आवर टाइम, लेकिन दैट शुड नॉट बी इन आवर प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट. बट वी डू द व्हाट्सएप इन ए मोस्ट एफिशिएंट मैनर इन ऑर्डर टू कीप द पब्लिक रिलेशंस इंटैक्ट. लेकिन वो काम हमको प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट में ही रहना चाहिए. So we have to make it a right choice about how the time will be used, and which is much more important than doing efficiently doing utmost efficiently whatever the job comes up. So this is a very important aspect. Now, in essence, what we can say, the time management is concerned more with working better and effectively than just working harder and longer. Time management is concerned more with working better. That means how to improve our ability and effectively. कि क्या काम करना है, उसको list बनाना, do it in a most effective way. And whenever we are just working harder and longer, that cannot be the most efficient use of the time management. It does not imply utilizing every minute. All it means is using the available time in the most effective manner. It does not imply utilizing every minute. सब ये हम लोग का, if you just think it in such a way, whatever the efficiently or with what sort of efficacy you go on trying to utilize your time, some time will be wasted. You cannot prevent the wastage of time. What we can do, we can simply try to minimize the wastage of the time to the highest extent. Suppose हमको अभी ट्रेन पकड़ना है, हमको एयर पकड़ना है. If I travel from this place to that place, हमको कितना कम से कम 2 घंटा पहले रिपोर्टिंग करना है. After that one, in this COVID situation, we will have to report at least 2.5 to 3 hours before the scheduled departure of the aircraft. अभी 2.5 घंटा पहले हम एयरपोर्ट में गए, जो काम चेकिंग वगैरह वगैरह सब कुछ 1 घंटा में हो गया, तो 1.5 घंटा हम एयरपोर्ट में बैठे रहे. So can you treat it as a wastage of time? No, because if you do not reach the airport in the right time, you may miss the flight, or that will be a tremendous loss for you. So what we can say, that whatever the effort you make, तुम जितना भी कोशिश करो, you will not be able to utilize your every minute. Some times will be lost. You cannot prevent the loss of time. What we can say, all it means is using the available time. जो time हमारे पास रहते हैं, we are concerned about using that time in the most efficient manner. This is the very essence of time management. Time management क्या बताते हैं कि we will have to utilize our time. Whatever the time that is available to us, we are not at all concerned with utilizing the every minute. So this is a very important aspect. It does not imply utilizing every minute. All it means is using the available time in the most effective manner. So this is the essence of time management. यही टाइम व्यवस्थापना का, समय का व्यवस्थापना का सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात है. क्या बात है कि हम लोग हर मिनट, हर सेकेंड, हर मिनट, हर घंटे को वी कैनॉट, हम लोग उसका हाईएस्ट यूटिलाइजेशन हमारे पास संभव नहीं है. हम क्या कर सकते हैं, वी कैन यूज, हम लोग का पास जो अवेलेबल टाइम रहेगा उसको मोस्ट इफेक्टिव वे में यूज करना. दिस इज द एसेंस ऑफ टाइम मैनेजमेंट. Now, time management is essentially concerned with finding the answers to the following 2 questions. हम लोग कभी सोच के देखा कि सारा दिन सुबह करीब 7 बजे से रात को 11 बजे तक हम कैसे हमारा समय बिता. So time management is essentially concerned with finding answers to the following 2 questions. Time management 2 क्वेश्चन का आंसर देने के लिए तैयार है. This is an audit of your time. What are these 2 questions? Where does a person's time go? कहां पर हम लोग का समय, एक आदमी का समय बिता, where does a person's time go and where should the person's time go? हम जब रात में सोने जा रहे हैं तब हमको ऑडिट करना चाहिए कि कहां पर हमारा समय जाना चाहिए और हम कैसे अपना समय को बिताया सारा दिन. This is known as the term time audit. That means you will have to audit how you have passed your entire day, whether you have done any productive work, whether you have completed on any work which was in your priority list. So all these things were there. So you will have to decide, everybody will have to make an audit that where does his time actually going and where it should go. These are the two basic questions. Where does a person's time go and where should the person's time go? These are the two important aspects. दोनों चीज के ऊपर हम सब लोग को ध्यान देना चाहिए कि we are all the teachers, कि रात में हम जब सोने जा रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट डे हमको प्रायोरिटी ठीक करना पड़ेगा कि ये 5 काम हमको नेक्स्ट डे करना पड़ेगा, ये 3 काम हमको नेक्स्ट डे टॉप मोस्ट प्रायोरिटी से करना पड़ेगा. अगर टाइम मिले तो ये नेक्स्ट 3 वर्क विल हैव टू बी डन. तब सारा दिन के बाद जो रात 11-12 बजे हम लोग सोने जाते हैं, तब एक ऑडिट करो कि कहाँ हमको जो प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट था उससे हम कितना काम कर सके और कितना काम अभी भी पेंडिंग है. If you can do it, you will be able to utilize your time in the most befitting manner. यही एकमात्र उपाय है through which you can use your time, you can manage your time in the most befitting way. So this is very important. Where does a person's time go? सारा दिन हम कैसे हमारा समय बिताया, and where should the person's time go? कहाँ ये जाना चाहिए था? ये these two things are very, very, very much important. Now, there are several tools and techniques of time management which are directed towards analyzing where a person's time goes and channelizing it where it should go. These are the first thing. That is, there are different tools. There are different techniques of time management. There are different tools. There are different techniques of time management. And what we can management, this is very important, that we have to make an analysis, brief analysis, that where our time should go and where it has actually gone. So there are certain tools, there are certain techniques, there are certain tools, there are certain and these techniques are used for the deciding where it should go and where it has actually gone. So this is very, very much important. Now, what we can say, effective time management. Now, effective time management helps us to develop a task-oriented coping behavior of a person and equips him or her to mobilize and utilize the resources in an effective manner. If you can set your priority, if you can set your work priority, task priority, then it will be possible on the part of a person as well as on the part of a teacher, university teacher, college teacher, to mobilize as well as to utilize the resources in an effective manner. Now, a sound understanding of the basis of time management helps an individual to formulate his or her own strategies vis-a-vis his or her personal and work life. Whenever a sound understanding of the basis of time management, if anyone understands, if a person concerned understand the time management, then it helps the individual to formulate his or her own strategies, vis-a-vis his or her personal and work life. जब अब आप लोग टाइम मैनेजमेंट को सही ढंग से उपलब्ध कर सकते हैं, whenever you will be able to understand your time management, the phenomenon of time management in a very befitting manner, then you will be able to determine his own strategies so that you can utilize your time in the best possible way. So this is very important. A sound understanding of the basis of time management helps an individual to formulate his or her own strategies vis-a-vis his or her personal and work lives. This is another important aspect. Whenever, suppose a teacher like us, if we can understand that how we should use our time in the most effective manner, then we will be able to set our strategy in a very befitting manner, so that what we can say, we can use our time, not only use our time in a befitting fashion, for the sake of using our time, we can actually set out our strategies, and that strategy is considered to be very useful for using the time, for using our time in a very befitting fashion. Now, he or she will in the process increase his or her stress threshold value. If we cannot manage our time, if we fail to manage our time in a befitting fashion, some sort of stress will be generated in our mind. Suppose I stay in a place where from, suppose it is around 20 kilometers away from my university. I am just giving you an example. हमारा 11:30 बजे एक क्लास है, तो हमको घर से निकलना चाहिए, बिकॉज यूनिवर्सिटी जैम वगैरह, रास्ता में झूठ झमेला, ये सब हिसाब करके हमको लेटेस्ट 10:15 नहीं तो 10 से निकलना ही चाहिए, 9:45 to 10, लेटेस्ट बाय 10:10, उसके बाद करना ही नहीं, क्योंकि 1 घंटा हमको घर से यूनिवर्सिटी पहुंचने लगे। तो क्या हुआ कि अगर 10:10, मेरा क्लास 11:30 बजे है, मैं 10:10 से नहीं निकल के 11 बजे सपोज घर से निकला यूनिवर्सिटी जाने के लिए, तो क्या होगा? हम सोचा कि हम गाड़ी में जा रहे हैं तो पहुंच जाएंगे, लेकिन रास्ता में जाम में फंस गए, और रास्ता में जाम में और कोई अदर ऑल्टरनेटिव रास्ता नहीं है, हमको पहुंचना है। हम देख रहे हैं कि पहुंचते पहुंचते हमको करीब 12 बज जाएगा। तो गाड़ी में हम जो बैठे हैं और गाड़ी चलवा रहे हैं, हमारा भी टेंशन हो रहा है। मैं बार बार घड़ी देख रहा हूँ और सोच रहा हूँ कि स्टूडेंट्स हमको लिए वेट कर रहा है, और अगर हम लेट से ढुके तो स्टूडेंट लोग के पास हमको थोड़ा खराब भी लगेगा। मुंह में कुछ नहीं बोलेगा, लेकिन दिल से तो टीचर को क्या बोलेगा वो आप भी समझते हैं। तो हमको स्ट्रेस लिमिट बढ़ जाएंगे, गाड़ी में बैठ के गाड़ी चलाने में भी स्ट्रेस लिमिट बढ़ते रहेंगे। एंड दिस स्ट्रेस आर नोन एज द मेंटल स्ट्रेस, एंड दिस स्ट्रेस अल्टीमेटली इफ इट गोज ऑन इन अ लॉन्गर वे, एवरीडे ऐसा होते रखे कि ये मेंटल स्ट्रेस फिजिकल स्ट्रेस में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा और सारी डिजीज से आपको अफेक्ट करने लगे। सो ये सब आप जब चीज देखते हैं कि हम लोग सही ढंग से, अगर हम 10 बजे निकल गया घर से, तो मैं सही सलामत पर 11 बजे पहुंचूं, और 11 से आधा घंटा हम जो हमारा प्रिपरेशन किया, बोलना है क्या करना है, एक बार देख लिया, तो वी कैन टेक द क्लास इन अ वेरी प्लीजेंट वे। हमको भी स्ट्रेस भी मिनिमम रहेगा, स्टूडेंट लोग भी खुश रहेगा, मैं भी सेटिस्फाइड रहूंगा। लेकिन मैं अगर टाइम को ठीक ठाक मैनेज नहीं कर पाऊं तो इट विल इंक्रीज द स्ट्रेस ऑफ माई सेल्फ एज वेल एज इट विल इंक्रीज द स्टेट्स ऑफ आवर स्टूडेंट्स ऑल्सो। सो if we cannot maintain our time, then the value of stress, the quantum of stress, stress is generally of two types. One is a good stress, because this good stress ultimately leads towards the higher productivity, and another one is the distress. If the stress value goes on increasing and it crosses a certain level, then definitely it has got some sort of deleterious effect in our health, as well in our mind, and it in long run it affects our health and hygiene also. So naturally the stress threshold value will increase, and definitely it will jeopardize not only our health condition but also our mental condition in the long run. So naturally he or she will in the process increase his or her stress threshold value to a considerable extent. This is then another drawback, and that actually comes from the inefficient use of time management. Now, the next point is most of the stress related problem have much to do with the effective time management. जो हम आपको बताया था कि most of the stress related problems have much to do with the इफेक्टिव टाइम मैनेजमेंट। जो हम लोग का प्रॉब्लम होता है स्ट्रेस रिलेटेड, ये प्रॉब्लम होते हैं बिकॉज वी कैनॉट मैनेज आवर टाइम इन एन इफेक्टिव वे। जो अभी आपको हम बताया कि हम लोग टाइम को ठीक ठाक मैनेज ही नहीं कर पाते। सो एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ विच द स्ट्रेस रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स इंक्रीज टू ए कंसिडरेबल एक्सटेंट। इट इज सिंपली द परसेप्शन ऑफ वन्स ओन टाइम that is really important. कोई टीचर हम देखा हमारा जिंदगी में 20-25 साल टीचिंग के बाद, some teachers are very punctual. They even generally do not turn up or go to their classes even after the 5 minutes of the scheduled time, and they take the classes very punctually and very sincerely and with utmost devotion. और कोई टीचर है जो शुरुआत से लेट में आने का उसका एक मतलब है, वो 15-20 मिनट बाद में आते हैं, फिर अटेंडेंस लेते हैं, उसमें भी 5-10 मिनट चला जाते हैं। डोंट टेक इट अदरवाइज, वट एवर माई पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस दैट आई वांट टू शेयर विथ यू। और क्या करते हैं कि उसको अटेंडेंस लेने के बाद जो पढ़ाना वो 10-15 मिनट पढ़वाया, फिर क्या हुआ कि बोला कि ये वो फिर 10 मिनट 5 मिनट पहले चला गया। सो दे आर नॉट वेस्टिंग देयर टाइम, दे आर ऑल्सो वेस्टिंग द टाइम ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स। सो ये डिपेंड करते हैं कि हम लोग का वैल्यू सिस्टम क्या है, एंड दिस वैल्यू सिस्टम इज वेरी मच रिलेटेड विद द टाइम मैनेजमेंट। ये वैल्यू सिस्टम टाइम मैनेजमेंट से जुड़ा हुआ है। और हम जब बोला है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द स्ट्रेस रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम्स हैव मच टू डू विद द इफेक्टिव टाइम मैनेजमेंट, जो स्ट्रेस रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा होते हैं दैट हैव मच टू डू विद द इफेक्टिव टाइम मैनेजमेंट। इट इज सिंपली द परसेप्शन ऑफ वन्स ओन टाइम दैट इज वेरी वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट। दैट व्हाट इज द परसेप्शन ऑफ वन्स ओन टाइम। हम बोला कोई आदमी बचपन से ही बहुत पंक्चुअल, since the beginning of their studenthood, since the beginning of their career, they are very sincere, and it depends upon their ethical considerations, it depends upon their ethical values. The internal preparedness to utilize the time effectively is deeply rooted in the value system of the person concerned। जो हम बता रहे थे कि how do you value, what is our value system? This is very important. That is internal preparedness. हम लोग अंदर से जो तैयार होते हैं to utilize the time effectively, कि कैसे हम टाइम को effectively utilize करें, it is deeply rooted in the value system of the person concerned। ये हम लोग का जो value system है उससे ज्यादातर जुड़ा हुआ रहता है। If a person has a strong value system, definitely you will see that he is the most effective utilizer of time. He understands the time management, or he is practicing the time management in the most befitting fashion. So the internal preparedness to utilize the time effectively is deeply rooted in the value system of the person concerned. This is very important. The internal preparedness to utilize the time effectively is deeply rooted in the value system of the person. Person का जो value रहता है ना, that value is very important. That how we should go for utilizing our time in the most effective manner, in the efficient way. Now, it is the personality structure. दुनिया में दो किस्म का आदमी जनरली होते हैं. One belonging to personality A, another belonging to personality B. Most of us belong to the personality B category, and the personality A category people are not that much easily available. These people, they are very, very much what we can say, stick to their principle. Even the whole world goes against him or her, he or she will stick to their own what I can say, own stand. They are not gullible, they are not that much flexible. So they have, generally it has been observed that the people who belong to personality A category are basically punctual, and they utilize their time in the most befitting way, because it is due to their personality structure. Actually, they are in a position to utilize their time in the most beautiful or in the most efficient and effective way. It is the personality structure which finally determines one's attitude towards time, time utilization, and handling of time wasted. These three things are very important. That it is the personality structure of the people, it is the personality structure of the human being which finally determines one's attitude towards time, time utilization, and handling of time wasters. ये आदमी ए का हो ना बी का हो, to some extent it acts as an important factor to determine how he will be able to utilize his time, how he will handle his time wasters, and what is his conception about time. The primary step in time management is recognizing all our time, where all our time goes. Time management का जो पहला कदम है, what is the first thing regarding the time management is to make an audit of time. That is to determine where our all the time goes, and in the process you will have to identify which are our time wasters. So these two things are very important. The primary step in time management is recognizing where all our time goes. कहाँ हमारा, that means you will have to make a time audit. That is, you will have to recognize where all our time goes. You have to make your time audit very categorically. That means you will have to state, you will have to make an audit that of where your time has gone, where it should go, and why you have not been able to utilize your time in a befitting fashion. If you want to understand it, you will have to identify the time wasters which actually prevent you from utilizing your time in the befitting manner. This is a very important thing. You will have to identify कि कहाँ आपका टाइम जाना था, कहाँ आपका टाइम बीत गया, और ये जो डिफरेंस आया ये किस कारण बचता है. हम लोग का तो अभी टीचर बोले, बचपन बूढ़ा बोले, छोड़ा बोले, बच्चा बोले, most of the time we use, actually we what we can say, most of the time we actually waste just what I can say, keeping our eyes intact with the mobile. Can we deny it? This is the major problem in the present day scenario. Now, this is the major problem where everybody is facing nowadays, because we have been adapted to some extent, addicted towards this mobile, and mobile particularly, not computer or laptop, I cannot say like this, but mobile addiction actually wastes our time to a considerable extent. So this is what I can say. This is whenever you will be identifying your time wasters, you just simply see that mobile is the one of the most important time eater of a teacher, of a student, as well as with a child. So everyone is being addicted towards this mobile, and you are WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, all these things, they are just simply wasting our time to a considerable extent. Now, there are certain myths of time management. एक myth कुछ है. क्या myth है? Myth मतलब ये person का अंदर में बैठा हुआ कुछ conception. This is the myth. Myth of the people मतलब टाइम मैनेजमेंट के बारे में पर्सन को कुछ अंदर से कुछ भावना, कुछ चिंता, वो ऑलरेडी इज देयर इन द माइंड ऑफ द पीपल. क्या मीथ है? पहला मीथ है कि मीथ ऑफ एक्टिविटी. द मीथ ऑफ एक्टिविटी, पर्सन्स हु आर द मोस्ट एक्टिव गेट द मोस्ट वर्क डन. ये तो एक मीथ है ही कि जो आदमी ज्यादा एक्टिव है वो ज्यादा काम कम समय में करवा लेते हैं और कर पाते हैं. द पर्सन्स हु आर द मोस्ट एक्टिव get the most work done. Next one is the myth of decision level. Higher the level at which a decision is made, that is better. This is simply the theory of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy categorically states, bureaucracy always advocates for taking the decision at the highest level. This is the theory of bureaucracy, rather this is the advocacy of bureaucracy as invented by Max Weber. I think I am not going into this detail, and you, the teacher of commerce and management, are well aware of this theory. And bureaucracy is stating very much categorically, and this is a calls for the centralization of management. That means the lower and middle tier of management generally do not have any authority to take the decision. So everything is routed through a channel to the highest level, and the decision is being taken up there, and afterwards it is being percolated throughout that channel and it to the lowest level. So because this is a myth and it takes huge time, because file moves from lower level to higher level. In case of government organizations, we have been seeing the same things have been practicing in this era of 21st century, where sitting in the home through virtual meet, we are delivering lectures to our students since last 7-8 months. But if you go to any government office, you will again see the same process. The process of bureaucracy is still being followed. So in this theory of bureaucracy, it has been categorically stated that the decision, higher the level of decision, the better will be the quality of it, quality of decision. So this is what I can say, this is the myth of the decision level. Because if it goes to the highest level, the people think in this way that it is a Weberian concept कि जो लोग ऊपर में बैठते हैं टॉप मैनेजमेंट में, उसका डिसीजन लेने का जो क्षमता वो तले वाले से ज्यादा है, उसका विचार सोच थोड़ा अच्छा है. लेकिन ये जो मूवमेंट ऑफ फाइल थोड़ा नीचे से ऊपर, ऊपर से फिर नीचे, इट कंज्यूम्स ह्यूज टाइम. इसलिए आदमी लोग बोलते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस को बच्चर 12 महीना में खत्म नहीं होता है, ये 18-24 महीना लगता है. सो दिस इज द मीथ ऑफ डिसीजन लेवल. So whenever the decision is being taken at the highest level, we can say without any hesitation that quality of the decision might be slightly better in comparison with the decision if it has been taken at the middle tier or lower tier, but the time that is being consumed, that is much more higher, and it leads towards the wastage of time. This is the myth of decision level. Now next phase is the myth of delayed decision. Delay improves the quality of decision. Suppose एक दोस्त आपको फोन किया कि भाई साहब बोलिए कि मेरा यही प्रॉब्लम हो गया, हम कैसे ये प्रॉब्लम से निपट सकते हैं? What are the strategies? What are the decisions I should take to come out from this problem? हमारा जनमानस में एक विचार है, एक सोच है, एक कंसेप्शन है कि अगर हम तुरंत बोल दे उसको डिसीजन, तुरंत दे दे, तो वो सोचने लगेगा कि ये हमारे लिए कोई सोचा ही नहीं, जो मन में अचानक आया वही बोल दिया, तो ठीक है, हमको ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दिया. दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ माइंड सेटिंग और माइंड ब्लोइंग विल बी देयर. लेकिन वो सही डिसीजन, वो एक ही डिसीजन जो उस टाइम में विद इन ए फ्रैक्शन ऑफ सेकेंड वो बोल सकते थे, वो अगर 5 दिन बाद बताए तो जिसको बताएंगे वो सोचेंगे कि हर ये हमारे लिए बहुत सोचा है, उसके सोचने का बाद ही तो हमको डिसीजन दिया है, so this decision can be accepted and I should act accordingly. So this is the myth of delayed decisions. That means it has been stated that delay improves the quality of decisions. অগ্নিশ্বর একটা লেকচার দিচ্ছে HRDC তে, পরে কথা বলছি. Now this delay improves the quality of decision. That means if you go on delaying, then we can say that ये जनमानस में कंसेप्शन है कि हमारे लिए बहुत सोच के डिसीजन दिया, सो इसको लिया जाए, और क्योंकि ये हमारे लिए बहुत कुछ सोचा है, क्योंकि मीथ है आदमी लोग का मन में कि डिले इंप्रूव्स द क्वालिटी ऑफ डिसीजंस. नाउ द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज द मीथ ऑफ डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी. This you know that what is delegation of authority. Delegation of authority saves time, worry and responsibility. Agar you know that delegation means we are entrusting someone to do, generally it is being done by the higher level to the lower level to act on behalf of this person who has delegated the power to the lower level. And generally, in case of a bigger organization, the delegation is absolutely necessary. अभी आप रतन टाटा का टोटल टाटा ग्रुप में करीब 1 लाख लोग काम करते हैं, 1,12,000 समथिंग देखा था एक बार फिगर में. टाटा ग्रुप का बात कर रहे हैं, इंक्लूडिंग टिस्को, टाइटन, टाटा मोटर, ये सब लेके हमको लगता है अभी 1.5 लाख का भी ज्यादा हो सकता है पूरा टाटा ग्रुप में. तो टाटा ग्रुप का चीफ कौन है? मुंबई में बैठता है अभी रतन टाटा, पहले था साइरस मिस्त्री, उसके बाद पहले था रूसी मोदी, रतन टाटा, ये सब थे. नाउ क्या हुआ कि अगर रतन टाटा खुद सोचे कि हम सबको हटा दिया और हम खुद ही सब काम करेंगे, सो नेचुरली ये तो संभव नहीं है. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. So he will have to delegate his power. He will have to delegate, otherwise there will not be any structure of organization. The organization structure itself appears due to the effective delegation of authority. So delegation of authority, which I can say, it not only saves time, but it saves us from the worry as well as from the responsibility, because responsibility, though it cannot be delegated as per the as per the theories of management, but whenever we are delegating our authority to the rightest person, some relief, some mental relief is generally be there in the mind of the superior people. Next one is the myth of efficiency. It is absolutely clear that the most efficient person is the most effective person. This is the myth of efficiency. that everybody knows that the most effective person is the efficient person, will be the most effective person. Next one is the myth of hard work. Harder one work, the more he or she gets the work done. जो आदमी ज्यादा काम करेगा वही ज्यादा काम कर सकेंगे, ज्यादा work. Next one is the myth of omnipotence. By doing it oneself, the tasks are achieved faster and better. By doing it oneself, the tasks are achieved faster and better. अगर कुछ आदमी ऐसा सोचते हैं कि हम जैसे काम करते हैं वो दूसरा काम दूसरे वालों से नहीं चलेगा, सो वो डेलीगेशन में ज्यादा इंटरेस्टेड भी नहीं रहते हैं, बिकॉज दिस इज ए सम सॉर्ट ऑफ कॉन्सेप्शन इन द माइंड्स ऑफ द पीपल कि हम जो काम करते हैं वो ऐसा तरीके से दूसरा लोग ये काम कर नहीं सकते. सो by doing it oneself, the tasks are achieved faster as well as it can be done in a better way. The myth of overworked manager. There are some managers, actually the efficient managers or some people who are there, they are definitely overworked, overburdened. And as they are overworked and overburdened, then definitely what we'll say, as they are overworked, they are overburdened, they are definitely not in a position to do the work, then what will happen that they think that they are overworked. Most of the managers in our country, specifically the managers who are very efficient, and you will find the success story of most reputed companies of India, behind the screen, the efficiency of a lot of people, lot of good managers, top level managers are there. So most of the managers are overworked. The myth of open door. The open door policy improves the manager's effectiveness. The myth of open door. That means if you open the door, open door policy improves the manager's effectiveness. That means a manager is supposed to be, if you open your door, then definitely it improves the manager's effectiveness in the long run. The myth of problem identification. Identifying the problem is the easy part of problem solving. If you can identify your problem, then you can easily solve the problem. Identifying problem is the easy part of problem solving. The myth of time saving. Many shortcuts are time savers. You know that there are so many shortcuts are available which will go for saving our time. The myth of time shortage. As I have discussed earlier, कि no one has enough time in this world. किसी का ये वर्ल्ड में ज्यादा टाइम नहीं है. The myths of time management and time wasters. A time waster. What is time waster? Now, as I have told you beforehand, कि आप अगर सही आपका टाइम को यूटिलाइज नहीं कर पाए, it is only due to the fact that you have wasted your time. As you have wasted your time, so you being a teacher, being a manager, being an entrepreneur, you will have to identify which one your time waster. So that if you can identify your time waster, then you will be trying to, what we can say, you will be trying to eliminate those time wasters in the future. You will be trying your level best to remove your time wasters in future, or minimizing the time waster to the maximum extent. So ultimately, so that you can utilize your time in the most befitting fashion. A time waster may be said to be anything which prevents a person from utilizing his or her time and achieving his or her objectives in the most effective manner as possible. Anything becomes a time waster only when it is not managed effectively but allowed to waste one's time. Anything becomes a time waster. That means whenever it has become a time waster only when it is not managed, when the time is not being managed effectively but allowed to waste one's time. When a time waster will go for wasting one's time when what we can say, we are not in a position to manage our time, but allow the time wasters to do accordingly. So this is the another problem of time wasters. Now, next point is we have to identify, हम लोग सबको identify करना चाहिए कि which are the most widely prevalent time wasters in our life. If we can identify it, that who are the most widely prevalent time wasters, then only we will be able to minimize it. We will be able to what we can say, eliminate it from our schedule, and definitely what we can say that it will help in a considerable way for an effective time management in the future. So this is the most important aspect, that is most widely prevalent time wasters. If we can identify our time wasters, then only it will be possible for us to eliminate it. It will be possible for us to eliminate the wasting of time to the highest extent, so that we can utilize our time in the befitting fashion. So this is a very, very, very important aspect. So what we can say, that we will have to identify which one our time wasters. First one is the telephonic interruptions. Suppose we are doing a work, a phone comes, because every one of us have the mobile connectivity, and in mobile we generally seldom switch it off. So suppose we are taking our class, all on a sudden a very important phone comes, and naturally whenever the phone will come, it will certainly disrupt your mind. Whatever, if it is a if it is a significant phone, then it will surely disrupt your mental concentration. And even if it is not that much a serious call, if you go on taking the call and wasting your time in the classroom, then naturally your mental concentration towards that particular class will certainly be disturbed. Same thing happens in case of the top managers, lower managers, as well as with the middle management. So whenever everyone, starting from the teacher, manager, doctor, whatever the persons be in the professions, the telephonic interruption is one of the major hindrances, is the most widely, one of the most important, widely prevalent time wasters. अगर आप बात करते हैं, क्या करते हैं कि कोई काम करने लगे तो अचानक एक फोन आ गया. अभी फोन पकड़ना बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है whenever we are concentrating on something else. और नहीं तो आदमी को बोला कि भाई बाद में फोन करो, अभी हम बात करने का मतलब टाइम नहीं है. So but sometimes we cannot say to our friends, to our fellows. So naturally whenever we get a call, we receive a call, our not only time is being wasted only when we are talking to him or her, but what happens, क्या होते हैं कि उसको क्या बोला वो थोड़ा मेंटल में पकड़ जाते हैं, वो मेंटल में अंदर में चले जाते हैं. So that has become one of the most important interruptions, one of the most important time wasters. Next point is drop in visitors. Suppose हम बोला कि हम 11 बजे, हमारा 11:30 बजे क्लास है, हम 10 बजे निकलना ही पड़ेगा, गाड़ी चलवा के जाना पड़ेगा यूनिवर्सिटी क्लास लेने के लिए. अचानक 20 साल पहले का एक दोस्त विदाउट एनी इन प्रायर इंटीमेशन मेरा घर में आ गया, तो हम क्या करेंगे? उसको बोले कि तुम अभी चला जाओ, शाम को आओ. हम we are the social animals, we are the social being, we cannot say like this. और अचानक आदमी आ गया, उसका जतन सहन सब कुछ करना पड़ेगा, तो सारा दिन चला गया. सपोज टोटल क्लासेस, टोटल शेड्यूल्स आर बीइंग डिसरप्ट. कभी कभी हम एक्सपीरियंस ये भी है कि सपोज हमारा क्लास 11:30 बजे है और मैं चेम्बर में बैठ के क्लास जाने का ठीक पहले कुछ 2-4 टीचर आ गया मेरा सामने कोई इशू बताने के लिए. जो एकदम ए पर्सनालिटी का हो वो उसको बोलेगा कि भाई मेरा क्लास है 1 घंटे का, मैं 12:30 बजे निकलूंगा, मैं 12:30 बजे के बाद आओ तो मैं बात कर सकता हूँ. मोस्टली टीचर लोग क्या करते हैं, उसके साथ बैठ जाते हैं, बैठ से उसका जो कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो गया यूनिवर्सिटी और कॉलेज में उसके बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं. तो स्टूडेंट लोग वेट कर रहे हैं बाहर एंड यू आर डिस्कसिंग इन योर चेम्बर्स एंड दिस हैपेंस ड्यू टू द अचानक विजिटर्स आपके पास आ जाने से. दैट इज नोन एज द टर्म ड्रॉप इन विजिटर्स. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज मीटिंग्स, बोथ शेड्यूल्ड एंड अनशेड्यूल्ड. देयर आर, देखिए मीटिंग में बहुत सारे टाइम लॉस्ट होते हैं. कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी का जो काउंसिल का मीटिंग होते हैं, सपोज वो शुरुआत का टाइम 12 बजे दिया तो हमारा इंडियन टाइम के मुताबिक वो तो कभी भी 12, 12:30, पौने 1 का पहले शुरू नहीं होगा. ये आधा घंटा 45 मिनट सब टाइम में इंडियन ग्रेस चलता है. ये शेड्यूल हो चाहे नॉन शेड्यूल हो, अगर स्टार्ट हो गया तो 45 मिनट, आधा घंटा 45 मिनट के बाद कब खत्म होगा कोई नहीं बोल सकता. पौने 1 का मीटिंग शाम को 6 बजे भी खत्म हो सकता. सारा दिन का प्रोग्राम चौपट. सो व्हेनेवर देयर इज अ मीटिंग, we waste most of your time, our times in meetings with our whether it is scheduled or it is unscheduled. Crises is another thing that actually occurs suddenly, and this occurrence doesn't come with any sort of notice. So this is a very important aspect कि अचानक कुछ घट गया, इसके लिए हम तैयार नहीं थे. So we cannot manage our time. Lack of objectives. अगर objectives का कोई दिक्कत हो तो naturally we will be wasting our time. Next one is cluttered desks and personal disorganization. कुछ आदमी को देखेगा कि डेस्क में इतना गंदा करके रखते हैं, कहाँ का चीज कहाँ रखते हैं. Whenever something is required, वो कभी भी उसको ढूंढ के नहीं पाते, इधर घूमते उधर घूमते. And these are people are highly disorganized because their desks are highly cluttered. So ultimately it leads towards the wastage of time. Now, ineffective delegation of authority and involvement in routine work and detail. Ineffective delegation of authority. Whenever the authority is being delegated, ineffective delegation, and manager लोग का डेलीगेट करना एकदम सही ढंग से डेलीगेट करना चाहिए. जो चीज डेलीगेट करना हो, टॉप मैनेजमेंट इज सपोज टू कंसेंट्रेट ऑन पॉलिसी मेकिंग. And if they involve themselves in the routine work, then definitely that will not be a good one, and that will simply lead towards the wastage of time. So ineffective delegation of authority and involvement in the routine work by the top management ultimately leads towards the wastage of time. Next point is attempting too much at once and unrealistic time estimates. सब काम एक साथ में लेके करना शुरू कर दिया, कोई ध्यान नहीं कि ये काम करने कितना टाइम लगेगा, वो करने में कितना टाइम लगेगा. So we are attempting too much at once and we do not have any sort of time estimates कि कितना टाइम लगेगा इसको खत्म करने. Attempting too much at once and we do not have any realistic time estimates leads towards the wastage of time. Lack of or unclear communication or instruction. Sometimes communication is also very unclear. Top management से जो communication आना चाहिए था वो बहुत खराब है, वो not very much clear. So naturally instructions are very ambiguous. So this unclear communication or instructions definitely what I can say leads towards the wastage of time. Inadequate, inaccurate and delayed information. Inaccurate, inadequate and delayed information. This is the most important aspect. If the information is inadequate, if the information is inaccurate and if the information is delayed, that will simply lead towards the wastage of time. This is very, very important. Inadequate, inaccurate and delayed information. जो information मिलना चाहिए वो सही ढंग पर सही टाइम में ही मिलना चाहिए. If the information is inadequate as well as if the information is inaccurate, क्योंकि information गलत information जो टाइम पे आना चाहिए वो टाइम पे नहीं आया, and information is delayed information, definitely what we can say, it will go for what I can say wastage of time. So क्या होता है? Ineffective delegation of authority and involvement in routine work and detail. Suppose top management, अगर आपका हमारा principal और vice chancellor साहब सब काम खुद डिसीजन, सब विदाउट डिसेंट्रलाइजिंग, सब डिसीजन खुद ही लेना स्टार्ट कर दिया, तो क्या होगा अल्टीमेटली? वो काम, सब काम सही ढंग से कर नहीं पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दिस इज ड्यू टू द लैक ऑफ डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी। वो डेलीगेट ठीक ठाक नहीं किया। अगर वो डेलीगेट ठीक ठाक नहीं किया तो अल्टीमेटली क्या होगा? he will be involving in more and more routine work, और मोर एंड मोर रूटीन वर्क में अगर इन्वॉल्व हो जाएगा तो उसका टाइम वेस्ट होना शुरू कर देगा। सो इनएफेक्टिव डेलीगेशन ऑफ अथॉरिटी एंड इन्वॉल्वमेंट इन द रूटीन वर्क बाय द टॉप मैनेजमेंट। ये कॉलेज का प्रिंसिपल हो सकता है, मैनेजमेंट का टॉप मैनेजमेंट हो सकता है, टाटा का, ग्रुप का, रिलायंस का, अदानी का, और यूनिवर्सिटी में वीसी। अगर सब काम रूटीन वर्क भी आप खुद करने लग गया तो नेचुरली there will be ineffective delegation of authority। और क्या है कि attempting too much at once, सब काम आपको एक साथ में करना अगर शुरू कर दिया, and unrealistic time estimates, कोई एस्टिमेट ही नहीं है कि कब कोई चीज खत्म होने वाला। अनरियलिस्टिक टाइम एस्टिमेट्स, कोई एस्टिमेट तुम्हारे आपके पास नहीं है कि कब काम खत्म होगा, कब क्या होगा। सो यू गो ऑन अटेम्प्टिंग टू मच वर्क एट वन टाइम, and what we can say, we do not have any estimate of time. Totally unrealistic time estimates ultimately leads towards the wastage of time। एक साथ में 10-20 काम लेके कोई काम हम लोग सही ढंग से कर नहीं पाएगा। Next one is lack of unclear communications or instructions। If the communication is unclear, if the communication is not clear, then naturally जो जिसको पास कम्युनिकेशन जो आना चाहिए था वो अगर ठीक ठाक नहीं आया तो वो क्या काम करना है, कौन सा टाइम में क्या काम करना है, जो सबऑर्डिनेट है, जो लोअर लेवल है, उसको समझ में नहीं आएगा। अगर उसको समझ में नहीं आएगा तो he or she will not be able to perform the work in a befitting fashion, so it will lead simply towards the wasting of time। और फोर्थ में जो चीज आते हैं, inadequate, inaccurate and delayed information। इंफॉर्मेशन अगर गलत इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होना ठीक है, लेकिन गलत इंफॉर्मेशन बहुत डेंजरस है। और inadequate इंफॉर्मेशन मतलब जो इंफॉर्मेशन जितना होना चाहिए वो अगर इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं हुआ, गलत थोड़ा सा कम इंफॉर्मेशन आया, तो sometimes it will be a very problematic one। inadequate, inaccurate and delayed information, these three things are very important। Inadequate, inaccurate and delayed information, these three things ultimately creates confusion in the minds of the subordinates. It might creates some sort of problem in the mind of the lower level of workers, and some definitely it leads towards the wastage of time। Next point is indecision and procrastination। ये सबसे बड़ी और एक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। हम लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा टाइम हम इंडिसिशंस में भुगते हैं कि क्या करना चाहिए। We take a long decision, we cannot take a decision to what I can say कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या कौन सा टाइम में क्या करना चाहिए। बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम आते हैं। We cannot take the decision, we cannot take it the right decision at the right time। बहुत टाइम लगा देते हैं। It is only due to the indecision of us, and this indecision acts as an important, very important thing in the time management, because it is one of the most important aspect of the time waster, one of the most important component of the time waster। And procrastination, procrastination means delaying tactics। सपोज ये काम आज हमको आज ही करना चाहिए, हम सोचा कि ठीक है आज नहीं करूंगा, कल करूंगा। कल जब आया तो हम सोचा कि नहीं कल भी नहीं परसों करेंगे। ऐसे करते 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 हम देखा कि 7 दिन में भी हम अपना काम नहीं किया। सो दैट इज प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन। दैट इज we are just doing we are just what I can say हमको हम हमारा जो काम का डेट वो हम खुद ही पिछा रहे हैं। कुछ कारण ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है। नो नो टाइम है, लेकिन we cannot take the decision because of the procrastination. It is a delaying tactics on the part of the person. We cannot take the decision. This is known as the term procrastination. Confusion about authority and responsibility. Sometimes we people are being confused about what is our authority as well as what is our responsibility. We cannot understand it properly. So this is the major one, that is confusion about authority as well as confusion about the responsibility. हमारा क्या authority है और हमको क्या responsibility है. अगर if it is not rightly mentioned, it will not be possible for us to do the work in a befitting fashion. Confusion about authority as well as confusion about responsibility. Inability to say no. Inability to say no. ये हमारा सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है कि we cannot say no. Sometimes a lot of work comes to us. Suppose हमको कल बोला 4 बजे एक लेक्चर देने के लिए, एक फंक्शन में जाने के लिए, तो हम उसको हाँ बोल दिया. फिर एक आदमी सपोज आज शाम को फोन करके हमको बताएगा कि ठीक है कल 5 बजे हमको एक फंक्शन है, उसमें भी आप लेक्चर दीजिए. तो हम उसको भी हाँ बोल दिया. अभी क्या होगा कि 4 बजे वाला फंक्शन 4:30 पौने 5 बजे शुरू होगा और वो वाला 5 बजे वाला आदमी हमको फोन करते रहेगा कब आप आएगो, कब आप आओगे. तो हमको तो उसको ना करना चाहिए था कि भाई हमारा एक दूसरा प्रोग्राम में मैं फंसा हुआ हूँ एंड नॉट बी पॉसिबल फॉर मी टू अटेंड योर फंक्शन. बट मोस्ट ऑफ अस कैनॉट से लाइक दिस. हम सबको खुशी करने के लिए सबको हाँ बोलते, ठीक है चलो जाऊंगा. लेकिन we do not see our schedule कि इसमें कितना टाइम लगेगा, उसमें अगर हाँ बोले तो उसमें कितना टाइम लगेगा. So we cannot say no to anybody else. This is one of the major problems lying with everybody, that inability to say no. Leaving some tasks unfinished. कभी कभी ये भी होता है कि हम कुछ काम छोड़ के भी चले जाते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पर ऐसा हो गया कि 4 बजे वाला फंक्शन पौने 5 बजे शुरू हुआ. तब हम बोला कि भाई हमको थोड़ा सा बोलने दो, हमको दूसरा जगह में जाना है. तो अभी आधा बोल के हम लोग उधर से इधर दूसरा जगह में चला गया. So that ultimately acts as a time wasters. And another one is the what we can say lack of self discipline. ये सब होते हैं because we are not being disciplined within us. हम लोग का खुद सेल्फ कंट्रोल, सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन कम है. That's why we cannot do it. We cannot do the task. This is the another major problem. Now, what we can say, the time wasters generally of 2 types. One is internal and another one is the external. 2 किस्म का टाइम वेस्टर होते हैं. एक है इंटरनल ड्यू टू द इंटरनल डिसऑर्गेनाइजेशन, इंटरनल मिसमैनेजमेंट, और एक है एक्सटर्नल. सपोज हम जो आपको गप बोल रहे थे कि सपोज हमको 11:30 बजे यूनिवर्सिटी में विश्वविद्यालय में क्लास था, तो हमको घर में लेटेस्ट 10 बजे निकलना चाहिए था, क्योंकि हम 1 घंटा जानते हैं कि 30 किलोमीटर करीब 25-30 किलोमीटर जाने में हमको 1 घंटा 1.25 घंटा टाइम लगेगा ही. तो हमको निकलना चाहिए 9:45. हम अगर 11 बजे निकला और रास्ता में जैसे नॉर्मली जा रहे थे, जैम भी कुछ नहीं है, हम पहुंचा 12:10 में, 40 मिनट बीत गया, तो हम जाके स्टूडेंट को बोलेगा कि भाई रास्ता में बहुत जाम था, हम फंस गए. सो वी विल बी टू सम एक्सटेंट ऑलवेज बी ट्राइंग टू blame the external factors, external time wasters. So these are the external factor. रास्ता में अगर जैम हो गया, मारपीट हो गया, दंगा लग गया, रास्ता ब्लॉक हो गया, तो हमारे कुछ हाथ में नहीं है. These are the external factors. और internal factor है, this is the disorganization of myself. Generally, people want to blame the always external factors, but in most of the cases, it happens due to the internal disorganization of this particular person. That's why we must have to concentrate on our internal organization. That means how to manage ourselves in a befitting fashion so that we can use our time, as I have told you, in the most effective way. That's why in the last it has been written that people generally are inclined to attribute wastage of time mainly to the external causes, but deeper insights reveal a different picture. Deeper insight, if we go into the deep into the problem, definitely we will see that the reasons are extremely internal, not the external. Thank you so much. So this is all about the time management, and if you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you, my dear participants. Over to participants for any question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Aradhana from University of Delhi.
Yeah.
You covered all aspects regarding how to understand, in fact, what is actually time management. Thank you for that. Sir, I have a question regarding the point you made regarding the WhatsApp thing. Actually, sir, in some ways, it is a wastage of time for people who look into the messages unnecessarily, do forward stuffs like that. But then,
Right.
sir, yeah, but then as at my level, I think it is also helping us to be, sir, multitasking, in the sense that we are able to do many things at the same time and be in connect with what things we are doing. So, sir, I think a part of our efficiency can be related to the present kind of things like WhatsApp and other things. So I think to fully say that it is actually a reason for wastage of time, I think it is not fully correct. I think it
Okay.
helps us to understand how, where, when, and which way we are doing our duty, sir. So this is my understanding, personal level, sir.
Madam, actually, I do agree with you, but my personal experience, even with the students also, I think that you will definitely, to some extent, certainly agree with me that our students, even our teachers also, they are so much concentrated on doing the WhatsApp, doing the this Facebook and all these things, and we are if we just go on auditing our time, that how much we are spending, and definitely some utility is there, some fruitfulness is there, something is there, definitely. We can actually interact with the people instantly. All this we can share our knowledge, but sometimes a lot of hanky panky WhatsApp also comes, and really if we concentrate, and it not only waste our time, sometimes it disturbs our mind also. So not only wasting, disturbing, and creating some sort of, what I can say, a disorganization of our mindset.
Yes, sir. What you said is right. We need to, rationally do things and draw a line actually between what is essential, what is not essential. So it is all about a responsibility.
Sometimes even I cannot draw demarcate in between this.
So that is what, I like, particularly during the pandemic, I find, it has been a real sort of, stress buster also, that you are a frank admission, sir.
Correct. Even in the pandemics, starting from the last week of March till, you can say, up to even till date also, we are not going to the universities. So Actually, even I sometimes I think that if there was no WhatsApp, no Facebook, nothing, no internet chatting, nothing, then a lot of people, I think that a lot of people have been affected by the psychosomatic illness. But this number would have been increased by leaps and bounds if the people do not have any work to do. This is one of the method or medium of engagement. Otherwise, the domestic violence could have increased by at a tremendous rate, because some study I was seeing that in the lockdown period, specifically in the middle class people, the domestic violence also increased. A lot of people, they say that yes, we are there in the home, we didn't get this or sort of opportunity beforehand. Apart from all these things, but if the people are stagnant within their home and doing nothing, just simply concentrating on domestic work, then it could have been this sort of thing, that is this mobile was simply a sahara, whatever we can say. That I do agree with you.
Yes, apart from that, I would add another point, sir. This is actually to an observation which I felt as social scientists we all may
Correct.
be
What
doing.
is your subject, madam?
Sir, I teach economics.
Economics. What's your name? Good name?
I'm Dr. Aradhana Nanda.
Acha,
Ye-
Nanda, Dr. Nanda. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. Sir, one thing which I would like to share with you, in fact, is that we during the pandemic, this mobile which we talked about, laptop is there, mobile is there, then desktop is there, many kinds of things to connect. I found ki mobile was the most utilized and accessible resources for most of us because it's handy. And on the other hand, sir, we not only used it for productive purposes, like sometimes not in place of laptop, we used it for teaching also, sir. And on the one hand, I personally felt that how to pass time, use constructively. It was actually accessing, learning many new things from YouTube, learning. Yes. So I personally had a good productive utilization of time using mobile and internet, learned many new things which I had a craving during my, earlier times, and now I could fulfill. This is my perception and this is my understanding. I really I enjoyed using this mobile as an instrument for learning many things. So time management was generously done apart from the teaching which we had online. And so this is, sir, my personal observation on my way of doing things, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So we can say that you have utilized your time in the most befitting manner.
Yes, sir.
That I can say without any hesitation, that you have utilized your time.
Yes, sir.
In the most befitting fashion.
Yes,
so
sir.
that ultimately it has helped you to learn a lot of new things.
Yes, sir. So this is something which I wanted to share on the fora, that there are productive ways as well. Since sir was talking about time management, so
Correct.
I think this is what I had to say. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nanda, for your very, very, very effective comments. Any question from other participants?
Sir, good morning.
Good
afternoon,
morning.
brother.
Good afternoon, correct.
Thank you so much for the nice deliberation. Sir, I have a question.
What is your name? Say your name.
I'm Sudhanshu.
Sudhanshu, okay, fine. Where are you from?
I'm with Doon University, Dehradun.
Okay, fine. It's a fantastic place. Okay,
Sir. So my question is more about, discipline and time management. We actually, this is my personal observation, and I'm a very, very, weak time manager.
Yeah.
Especially about, waking early in the morning and, sleeping, going early in the bed. Because it affects the whole, the day cycle. And I believe I'm a firm believer of, citing, as a role model, teacher must, establish some standards so that they can ask students also to follow.
Yeah.
So, sir, how come this self-discipline can come into, one can, adapt the self-discipline when it comes to, waking early in the morning. It's very hard actually. I tried. Almost 3.5 decades I'm trying, but I'm not able to make it. Please
What is
help
your
and please
subject?
suggest
What is
some
your
remedy.
subject? What is your subject?
My subject is management science, operations and
Okay.
supply chain management.
Okay, one thing I can tell you very frankly that waking up in the morning only it doesn't lead towards effective time management. Somebody that is the present generation, young boys and girls who are supposed to be our students in the college and university level, they have got a tendency to remain awakened throughout the entire night, and they go to bed mostly you will find after 2:30. So they woke up, if they do not have any class, not before 10. But what we can say, they have adapted to this particular lifestyle. Even if you go on changing their lifestyle, you will not be able to change it. It doesn't mean that they are not doing well. They are also doing well. Then how much time will you sleep? How much time will you go for your study? How much time will provide to your students? How much time will provide to your domestic work? It all depends upon you. And whatever I will suggest, sir, we should make one diary, and where in the diary every day you will before going into the night bed, you will have to chalk it out very categorically that which work which you will have to do with the topmost priority in the next day. So 1 2 3 4, not more than 5. So this should be the first priority. After 5 6 to 10 it should be in the second priority, and 10 to 15 should be in the last priority, because we are not supposed to undertake 15-16 works in a particular day. So just whenever you will be going on to your bed after doing all of your work, you just tick how many of you have done, and next day priority list also you prepare in the diary. So in this way, if you go on doing these things, whenever you wake up, whenever you are going to bed, that is not an issue. The issue is because sleeping is also required for the sake of our mind, health, and effective physical, physical maintenance. So this is my personal suggestion. Obviously, it is highly personal. Okay, whatever the schedule, don't try to force yourself, which you do not permit mentally. Mental and physical, these two things are being combined, and that is known as psychophysical. As you know, a person of management, psychology and physiology, these two things are interrelated. So do not push yourself, do not press that much on your psychology, do not put that much of pressure on your psychology, because it has got a tremendous cascading effect on your physiology. So maintain your habit, whatever you have been doing, and I will ask you to simply to utilize the time in the befitting manner, so that whatever the work assigned to you, whatever the duties assigned to you, you can perform it in a befitting fashion. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's very clear.
Thank you
so much. It means that one should go with the kind of the potential one has developed for himself, and the time zone we have adapted for, instead of looking forward for some change, as you've said, in psychophysical perspective. Is that, sir?
Correct, absolutely. As you are a man of management, you know that we have talked about psychosomatic matters and all these things, but present management is also concentrating on psychophysical, because physiology is related with psychology. These two aspects are being considered, and specifically in this COVID situation, or in the lockdown situation, a semi-lockdown situation rather, we can say. How long this period will continue, we do not know. And don't put yourself mentally stressed that much. Otherwise, I think that some other problems will definitely crop up. Try to prevent yourself from arising those problems. This is my humble suggestion or submission to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Means a
Now,
lot. Thank you.
just after 5 minutes, I will 5 minutes. I will take up a new topic where we will discuss up to 1:30. Okay, just give me 5 minutes time.
Thank you, sir. We will take a short break here for 5 minutes,
Okay.
if you allow.
Sure. 5 minutes. I will also require some break of 5 minutes. Okay.
सर हम
After
5
what?
मिनट का ब्रेक लेंगे सर, उसके बाद हम फिर मुलाकात करते हैं, मिलते हैं
ठीक
सर।
है, ठीक है. Okay. Thank you so much.
जी सर, स्टार्ट करें।
हाँ, सुनाई दे रहा है?
जी जी सर, सुन रहे हैं।
हाँ, लेट
वेलकम
मी
बैक।
स्टार्ट। लेट मी स्टार्ट, ओके?
जी
ठीक है। Now the next topic which I will discuss, it is the counseling, the latest motivational tool for human resource management. Is it clear now? Hello?
सर।
Is it clear? Screen is clear?
जी जी
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as I was discussing about the time management, if we cannot actually to some extent cannot maintain or manage our time in a befitting fashion, not only the what we can say, that is simply the mismanagement of time, but other things are also responsible. And specifically we have observed that during this COVID-19 situation, lot of people, as we know that around 14 crores of people in our country working in the different informal and MSME sector, they have become jobless. And we have seen the very sad story of the migrant workers. Though government of India decided to give a package of around 20 lakh crores of rupees as announced by our finance minister, but despite of all these measures as initiated by the government, specifically the people who who work in the unorganized MSME as well as in the corporate sector, lot of these people have lost their jobs. As a result of which, some sort of even the people like us who work in the government and semi-government organizations, though we have not lost our jobs, but keeping confined ourselves within the four walls, though Madam has rightly pointed out, Madam Nanda, from Delhi University Economics, she has categorically stated that yes, I feel very much happy to listen from her, that she utilized her time in a very befitting manner and seeing the YouTubes, because there is no dearth of getting knowledge in this world, because you have YouTube channel, you have Twitter, you have all these things are there where we can gather information, even we can access the what we can say, the topmost acute foreign libraries also of the different universities by paying simply minimal quantum of fees. So if we want to gather knowledge, that is not a problem, but confining ourselves, and even if we do not know till date when this vaccine will come, and when we will be totally, our India will be, our world will be totally COVID free, that is not known to us. As a result of which, some sort of what I can say, depression, the word depression we can say, is there in the mind of so many people in this world, and India is not an exception to this. We are trying to concentrate on yoga. We are trying to concentrate on some other things. But despite of all these things, whatever we can say, some sort of mental problems, some sort of problems regarding to our psychology, which is categorically known as psychosomatic illness, have cropped up. And how to overcome this situation? I think that I am not giving any particular name. I have heard that some of our colleagues working in the university, they have also fallen mentally sick because they have no work to do and just taking the online classes. And I can share that online classes, specifically the students who who live in the very remote areas of our country, the response from the online classes are also not that much, what I can say, encouraging enough, what it should be. So as a result of which, even after whenever the students come to know that they don't have to sit for the exam, they can go for open book and something, their tenacity to attend the online classes have also got reduced to some extent, and creating some sort of not only psychosomatic problems to the teachers, the students are also being to some extent. I talked with so many students of us who have been passed out regarding their future, that how they will manage their future, whether they will get the job or not, what will be the shape of the economy. So all these things are there, and people, students, teachers, everybody, they have been put under some sort of mental pressure lead towards some sort of psychosomatic illness. So keeping in mind, I consider that if a person feels mentally sick, then counseling is the latest tool for motivation in the human resource management. Now, what is the basic purpose of counseling? Whenever we talk about before going into these deliberations, I must have to say that the counselors are not doctors. Counselor cannot prescribe any medicine. They can only simply talk with the people who have got psychologically ill and help them to come out from their problems. This is the basic motto of counseling. Thus, we can say that basic purpose of counseling is to assist the individuals to make their own decision from the several choices available to them to enhance their personal and performance effectiveness. Now, as I have told you, that the basic purpose, we can say that the basic purpose of counseling is to assist the individuals to make their own decisions. That means they will have to take their own decisions from the several choices. Whenever the different choices are available to them, and to enhance their personal and performance effectiveness. Suppose if a person is mentally sick, then it is expected that his performance will get down. His ability to do the work with full vigor will get down, as a result of which what will happen? It will lead towards a declining performance of the individual. Their productivity, as their moral will be low, moral has got direct linkage with the productivity. And if the moral becomes low, productivity will also become low, and it will definitely fall. So we can say that the basic purpose of counseling is to assist the individual. That means the people who are there to make their own decisions from the several choices available to them to enhance their personal and performance effectiveness. Causes of failure at work. Whenever a person fails in their workplace, There are certain causes behind it. What are the causes? The first cause is the employee does not know how to work. This is the first thing. That is, the employee do not know how to work. What are the ways through which the work can be done? When the employee does not know how to work, lack of instruction or feedback, when the employee does not get the adequate instruction from their employer. Suppose in every sphere, proper instruction is utmost necessary. Lack of instruction sometimes leads towards the failure of the workers at their workplace. Next point is someone is hindering your output. Suppose you are a very good teacher. You are teaching very well to your students and you are a very popular teacher among your students. Now, you know that you will find that in every college, because we are Indians, every college, every university, some people are there to give some sort of secret informations to the principals or to the topmost authorities of the university. So even the principals and topmost authorities wishes they want to have the coterie. And that what the coterie says, they actually believe in that. So naturally, suppose a very good teacher of principal of a college, and if the principal knows or from his very what I can say trusted coterie that the person is not at all a very good teacher, he or she is not taking the classes properly, then one day if the principal calls that teacher and says that yes, you are not doing well, you are not teaching, your report is very bad from the students, without verifying it from the horse's mouth, then definitely it will put some cascading effect on the mind of the teachers, of that particular teacher. And from the next day, he will think that what is the use of teaching so sincerely in the classroom, because I am not being praised and my sincerity is not being given due regard. The same thing happens within an organization, in a manufacturing organization also. Suppose a worker is very efficient, producing to his utmost level, but you see that somebody is there to hinder his output. That means, suppose he is producing 1000 units per day, we can say that a report is being given by the foreman to the production manager that he is producing 100 units per day. And if it comes into the mind, it comes into the knowledge of that particular worker, will it not be a very cascading on his mental part? Definitely. So ultimately, this will put the person into a depressive situation because his output is being hindered. Whatever the efficiency he has shown, that is being hindered. So that is the most important aspect. Next one is physical or mental restrictions, time and equipment restrictions. You know that for the sake of conducting good things, good work, you require some equipments, you require some time. If you do not have the equipments, if you do not have the time, then you will not be able to fulfill your work. You will not be able to do your work in a befitting fashion. Suppose for delivering lecture sitting in my home to this August, in front of this August participants, I require some equipments, some microphone, some system, laptop or desktop, whatever I have. If I do not have anything, no equipments, will it be possible for me to conduct this class? Certainly not. So physical or mental restrictions, ultimately the time or equipment restrictions And if there is no adequate, the people are not adequately equipped, and if they have not been given the proper time, the people may fail at their real work. Poor attitude, employee is burned out or unhappy and does not particularly enjoy the task. I think that a teacher can only be a successful teacher if he or she has a passion for teaching. In my life, I have met with so many people, so many teachers, even good professors. And some of them have told me that after teaching a long period, I do not like to teach more. So he is a burnout. There is a burnout situation. Now he or she is not feeling that much happy to teach, to deal with his or her students. If this attitude grows up into the mind of an individual, definitely that person cannot be a very good teacher in the ensuing days. अगर हमारा मन में आ गया कि इतना दिन पढ़वाया, 25-30 साल हो गया, अभी और पढ़वाने का दिल नहीं करता है, तो can I be a very teach properly to my future students? No, because my attitude has become poor. I cannot teach my students with the full vigor because I have already reached to this burnout situation and I have become unhappy with my present assignment. अभी हमको दूसरा रास्ता ढूंढना पड़ेगा. So naturally, this is a situation that happens to an employee also, to a worker also. If the worker is burned out or unhappy, and if he starts not enjoying with his task, then naturally he or she will fail while he or she will be going to do his or her particular task. Productivity will fall down because of lack of motivation and because due to the lack of morale and all these things. Another thing is the causes, another matters are the causes of failure at work, that is work overload. If a person is overloaded, there was a study that undertaken by a group of researchers in on the work pressure of the college teachers located in Bihar. They actually, I can recollect that their sample size was around 400 something like that, and they went for stratified sample, random sampling. The stratification was on the basis of the age, sex, then duration in the job, just to ascertain the workload of the teachers. And it was observed that the workload, so far from the routine is concerned, is very heavy. A teacher is supposed to take 4, 5, even 6 classes per day because there was some dearth of teaching staff. And whenever they talk directly with a questionnaire with the teacher says that we are overworked and our pressure is tremendous. As a result of which, sometimes we cannot teach well. This was their honest expression. And it was revealed in that particular research paper that work overload, not only in case of teachers, as I have just categorically stated, ये खाली teacher के लिए नहीं है. If a person, even the school teachers are also heavily overloaded, they would also have to take 5, 6 classes per day. So if a person is overloaded with his or her work due to the pressure of work, then naturally it is expected that in long run, the person may fail, may not be able to do his or her work in a befitting fashion. Next one is the tension. Tension is there. Sometimes whenever you cannot do your work in a proper way, either in the domestic work or in the official workplace, some tension will mount up in your mind. And this tension sometimes leads towards the failure at the workplace. Next one is job insecurity. We can concentrate, this is a theory that job security is one of the motivational factors, though presently there is some sort of difference of opinion also among the behavioral scientists regarding job security and all these things. But the orthodox view is such that job insecurity creates tension in the minds of the people, because every time they think in such a way that I may lose my job may go out, I may be simply be kicked out by the management. So naturally, they always, if they go on thinking on this matter in a continuous way, so it will definitely create some insecurity in their mind, and they cannot concentrate on their work, and it will lead towards the failure at their workplace. Next point is emotional disorder. Some people are emotionally totally, what we can say, they are not emotionally fine. Some people are highly emotional. Some people, they are more emotional than rational. So emotional things, emotional people, they cannot do their work because they are very much being affected by joy and sorrow. And that leads towards the failure at the workplace. So these are the reasons of failure of people at the workplace. Now, what is counseling? Whenever we talk about counseling, it is known as direct face-to-face conversation between a supervisor and the employee. Direct face-to-face conversation. That means, in case of, as we know that if a person feels mentally sick for a long period of time, and it definitely it will be revealed through his work output, and certainly it will come into the notice of the supervisor. The supervisor will certainly notice it, and if he notices it, then it is his duty to boost up that employee morally. And in the abroad, a lot of good companies, including foreign banks, I heard that Bank of Scotland, even ABN AMRO banks. In case of India, I have not heard of about any bank. They have their counseling section, counseling unit. Because due to heavy work pressure, if the employee gets sick, mentally sick at least, and if they do not or cannot perform their work in a befitting fashion, lot of errors takes place. Specifically in the banking, you know that if the error takes place, that could have been dangerous. So naturally, they identify those people and put them into the counseling section, which is being headed by 2-3 counselors, and they counsel 1:1 basis, so that whatever the problem they have mentally, that can be addressed, and the employees can again be pushed back into the normal situation. In case of our country, TISCO has got a counseling unit, Tata, and this is for the middle and higher level of management, and for the workers at the ground level, they are supposed, or they are thinking of starting it, but it will be a huge matter. But for the middle and higher tier, they have got their counseling unit. So if any managerial people, they got mentally sick, and if it comes into the notice of the management, then the arrangement for counseling is generally being undertaken. And how this counseling help? This counseling used to help the employee to identify the reasons for poor performance to improve, but it is not concerned with embarrassing or humiliating that employee. That means it helps an employee to identify the reason. That means the employee will be able to know that what are the reasons for his poor performance. So that if he can understand that these are the reasons for which he cannot concentrate on his or her work, then it will definitely help them to improve and not to embarrass, or this is not concerned with their embarrassment or humiliating them. It is a two-way process in which a counselor provides help to the workers by the way of advice and guidance. It is a two-way process. It is a both-way process. That means it doesn't mean that counselor will simply saying that what is your problem. He will also listen. He will also listen that what the problem that particular employee has been facing. It is simply a communication between the counselor and a counselee, so that the counselor can identify that what the real problems the counselee has been facing for a couple of days or couple of months or couple of years. And if you can identify the problem in this through a two-way process of communication, then ultimately it will help the workers to come out from this situation. Now, what are the purposes of counseling? Now, whenever we do something, you just see one person, counselor and counselee is sitting face to face and they are discussing with their problems. Now, the purposes of counseling, there are a lot of purposes for which this counseling is being done. The first thing is identifies the avenues for improvement and or development of the employees. That means you will have to identify what are the avenues for improvement. You are not concerned, the counselor is not supposed to humiliate or not he is supposed to embarrass, create an embarrassment for the employees. He will have to identify the avenues for improvement and he will pave the way so that the development of employees can really take place. Next point is improving of employee performance. The counselor will try to improve the performance of the employee to the highest extent. He will try to advise the employees. He will reassure. He will act, he will give some reassurance. That means, no, you will be able to come out from this problem. Whenever a person is put under some sort of problem, if you go on reassuring him, no, तुम सकोगे, तुम इसको निपटने सकोगे, तुम इसको इससे निकल के आके सकोगे. If this reassurance is being provided, then it will definitely act as a boost up in the mind of the counselee. It is only due to that reassurance, even a mentally sick person can come out from this mental tension and can put himself again into the mainstream. Definitely, the counseling will help to come out a person from his or her tension, and it will help an employee to go for clarified thinking. The thinking will be very much clear. There would be no hanky-panky. If a person's thinking is clear, absolutely clear, then actually all the problem arises due to the unclear things. And these unclear things which are creating a lot of problem to the people. And whenever we say that, if this problem is there, if the person doesn't have a very clarified thinking, clear thinking, then again he will be put under in the jolt of some sort of depression. So clarified thinking is absolutely necessary to come out from this sort of situation. So whenever we can say that these are the why the counseling is being undertaken, किस कारण में counseling किया जाते हैं, these are the basic purposes of counseling. Now the question arises कि कब counseling करना चाहिए, कब counseling का जरूरत हो. Counseling का तभी जरूरत हो when there is a conflict among the employees. Employees का बीच में 2-3 ग्रुप में झगड़ा लग गया. When there is a stress among the employees, all these things will be reflected in their performance. ये सब कुछ उसका परफॉर्मेंस से बाहर आएगा. If there is a conflict among the employees, if there is a stress among the employees, if there is frustration among the employees, and if there is emotional problem with the employees, then only you should go for counseling. And you will have to identify that what are the conflicts, why the conflicts are there among the employees, among the groups, and why there is a stress among the employees, what are the reasons of frustration among the employees, what are the emotional problems lying with the employees. If you can identify all these things, then you can consider that counseling of the employees are at most essential. Now the question arises that how to go for counseling. What are the ways? Because I am not a counselor. आप लोग सबको बताते हैं कि I am not a counselor. But I know this aspect to some extent, and it is very important nowadays कि अगर घर में भी कोई mentally sick हो जाए कि उसको भी counseling का जरूरत पड़े. Now how to do the counseling? अभी सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, हम लोग जब छोटे थे, whenever we were little, we never heard of कि even a child has got some frustration. अभी तो ये सुनाई दे रहा है कि 10-11 साल का बच्चा का भी frustration आ गया. This is a very dangerous thing. And if the counseling is not being done at the proper time, then a lot of psychosomatic illness may appear in the minds of the children also. So the counseling process should start before the session. You will have to define your objectives. कि क्यों तुम काउंसलिंग करने जा रहे हो, डिफाइन योर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स. जब तुम काउंसलिंग करने जाएंगे तब यू शुड हैव ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट्स अवेलेबल. आपको पास सब कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट होना चाहिए. यू शुड गो फॉर रिव्यूइंग ऑल फैक्ट्स. क्या क्या घटना घटा, किस लिए ये हुआ, ये सारे चीज को आपको रिव्यू करना पड़ेगा. और काउंसलिंग का पहले एक आउटलाइन भी आपको लिखना पड़ेगा कि कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछेगा और कैसे उसको तुम हैंडल करोगे. एंड यू शुड हैव टू अरेंज फॉर प्राइवेसी. क्योंकि सबका दिल में कुछ रहता है, वो सबके सामने बोल नहीं पाता. देयर आर 3 काइंड्स ऑफ पीपल इन दिस वर्ल्ड कि उसके सामने उसको प्राइवेसी मेंटेन करना चाहिए. एक तो है डॉक्टर, एक है लॉयर, एक है काउंसलर. क्योंकि सबका जो गहरा अंदर का प्रॉब्लम है वो सबके सामने तो बोलना नहीं चाहिए, और वो बोलेगा भी नहीं. So you will have to arrange for a private interaction, 1:1 interaction. सबके सामने बैठ गया 5-6 आदमी को लेके, उसमें कोई अपना प्राइवेसी को डाइवर्ज नहीं करना चाहेंगे तो काउंसलिंग ठीक ठाक नहीं हुआ. इफ यू कैनॉट अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम, द क्रक्स ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम इन ए प्रॉपर वे, यू कैनॉट गो फॉर डूइंग द काउंसलिंग इन ए बिफिटिंग फैशन. ये सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाएगी. So you will have to arrange for privacy. You will have to inform the employee verbally in person, not in private. And in private, that what the meeting is about and where and when it is to take place. जो काउंसलर रहेगा वो काउंसली को बोलना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ मीटिंग होगा, सबके सामने नहीं, इन पर्सन एज वेल एज इन प्राइवेट, वेरी प्राइवेटली, कि किस लिए तुम उसके साथ बैठना चाहते हो, व्हाई द काउंसलर इज विलिंग टू सीट विथ हिम, एंड व्हेन एंड वेयर, कहां पर कितना बजे वो मीट होगा. These are the most important aspects. That is, you will have to first one define your objectives. You will have to keep all the documentations available. You will have to review all facts. सब fact तुम आपको review करना पड़ेगा. You should have to create an outline for your counseling. एक outline भी बनाना पड़ेगा. एक private arrangement भी करना पड़ेगा. Arrange for privacy. And you should verbally inform the employee in person and in private. Personally or privately उसको बोलना पड़ेगा what the meeting is about. किस लिए आप मीटिंग कर रहे हैं और कहां और कितना बजे ये मीटिंग होगा. This should be discussed or this should be done by a counselor before holding the meeting with the counseling. This is the most important aspect. First one is defining the objectives. सब डॉक्यूमेंट, उसका जो पूरा कितना दिन से काम कर रहा है, किसके साथ काम किया, उसका बिहेवियरल पैटर्न किया था ड्यूरिंग लास्ट 3-4 मंथ, सब कुछ लेके, क्या घटना घटा इसलिए वो थोड़ा सा डिप्रेस हो गया, ये सब डॉक्यूमेंटेशन काउंसलर के पास रहना चाहिए. एंड काउंसलर शुड रिव्यू ऑल द फैक्ट्स. सब फैक्ट्स को रिव्यू करेगा. ही विल हैव टू क्रिएट एन आउटलाइन. एक आउटलाइन भी तैयार करेगा कि कैसे वो काउंसलिंग चलेगा. एंड ही शुड हैव अरेंज फॉर प्राइवेसी. 1:1 में होगा कि ये तो पब्लिक प्लेस में नहीं हो सकता. एंड ही शुड वर्बली इन्फॉर्म द एम्प्लॉई इन पर्सन एज वेल एज इन प्राइवेट दैट व्हाट द मीटिंग इज अबाउट. किस लिए वो बैठना चाहते हैं, वो प्राइवेटली और पर्सनली वो काउंसली को बताएगा. एंड वेयर एंड व्हेन इट इज टू टेक प्लेस, कहां पर ये चलेगा, कहां होगा. नाउ दिस इज द बिफोर द सेशन. अभी सेशन चालू हो गया. सेशन चालू होने से बात क्या करना पड़ेगा. हाउ डू यू बिहेव एंड व्हाट यू से ड्यूरिंग द सेशन कैन अफेक्ट द आउटकम. ये पूरा how the counselor is talking with a counselee, what is his behavioral pattern, what he is saying during the session, that is very important. That is very important, that how the counselor is behaving with the counselee. That is very important. The counselor should set a positive tone. अगर जो डिप्रेस्ड है उसको ऐसा कुछ ना करे कि और फर्दर डिप्रेस्ड हो जाए. हम लोग टीचर है, कोई खराब स्टूडेंट को अच्छा करना हम लोग का ड्यूटी है. सपोज एक स्टूडेंट फेल हो गया, हम उसको बोला कि तू तो और भी फेल करेगा, जहन्नम में जा, तो वो स्टूडेंट और भी खराब हो जाएगा. So always give a positive set of mind. Always try to provide a positive set of mind. This should be the duty of a counselor. Always setting a positive tone. He should describe the problem. He should ask some questions to the counselee and give a very patient hearing. Then listen. अभी काउंसिली का मन में तो कुछ था, इसलिए तो he has become depressed. वो कारण को उसको he will have to find out what are the reasons, what are the main causes. Then he will have to correct the situation कि नहीं, ये नहीं है, ये गलत है, तुम ये रास्ते से जाओ. This is the situation. Then he should go for correcting the situation. Listen. The counselor should give a very patient listening to the counselee. उसका जो problem है वो अगर दिल से नहीं बताएगा तो you will not be able to understand what he wants to say, where the crux of the problem lies. If you can understand, if a counselor can understand the crux of the situation, crux of the problem, then only he can do the right thing. Then only he can put the right things in his mind.
अंकल तो सुला देंगे यार.
हाँ? या? क्या हुआ? सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है?
जी मंदरंगा जी, कुछ कह रहे थे आप?
Any problem, sir?
No problem, sir. Carry on.
No problem, sir.
Now, what does the madam want to say? Any question?
No question, sir. वो by default उनका माइक ऑन हो गया होगा.
अच्छा, थोड़ा सा खत्म करने का बाद क्वेश्चन लेते हैं.
हाँ जी जरूर सर. क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर बाद में.
So you will have to correct the situation, listen, and then go for concluding the session. That is very important. So these things are there. That is the sessional guidelines for the counselors. Now, during the counseling process, for minimizing the conflict, the counselor should adopt the following things. क्या क्या करना है? काउंसलर को करना है. काउंसिल इन ए टाइमली मैनर. ये सब मत सोचिए कि एक सिटिंग में सब खत्म हो जाएगा. ये कभी नहीं होता. होगा तो बहुत अच्छा. Generally, we have seen that a person who is mild affected, not severely affected, उसको भी 3 से 4 सेटिंग लगता है. और it should be done in a timely manner कि आज किया, फिर कल नहीं, फिर 5 दिन बाद एक बार बैठा, फिर 5 दिन के बाद, फिर ये सब है टाइम फ्रेम सेट किया हुआ है. 7 दिन के बाद एक बार, उसके बाद 10 दिन के बाद एक बार, अगर जरूरत पड़े तो उससे 12-14 दिन बाद एक बार. So counseling should be done in a very timely manner. ये नहीं है कि आज ही 3 घंटा कर दिया सब कुछ खत्म हो गया. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं चलता है. Counsel in a timely manner. Counsel in a private manner. 1:1 counseling. And one should try to look for the root cause of the problem. कि problem कहाँ से आया? If you can understand the root cause, then only you will be able to solve the problem. Because you are not prescribing, you are just giving him or her the vocal tonic so that his mind can again be rejuvenated. Listen, don't interrupt. वो जब बोलता रहेगा काउंसलर, जिसको आप काउंसलर, जो डिप्रेस्ड आदमी है, वो क्या बोलता है उसको ध्यान से सुनो. डोंट इंटरप्ट. अगर इंटरप्ट करोगे तो वो बंद कर देगा, और वो जो बोलना चाहता था वो नहीं बोलेगा. वो दिमाग से हट जाएगा और वो बोल भी नहीं सकेगा. सो ऑलवेज एनकरेज द फ्लो. चुप एकदम करके बैठा रहेगा क्वेश्चन करने का बाद. You should have to, the counselor will have to show sincere interest in the employee. ये ह्यूमन बीइंग का सबसे बड़ा है कि अगर आप किसी को थोड़ा सा इंपॉर्टेंस देते हो कि ही और शी थिंक्स कि नहीं ये हमारे लिए सोचता है, दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग शुड बी इनकलकेटेड इन द माइंड ऑफ द काउंसली, जिसको आप काउंसलिंग कर रहे हैं. इफ यू कैन हेल्प, ऑफर इट एंड डू इट. अगर आप कुछ हेल्प कर सकते हैं तो वो हेल्प को ऑफर करो, क्योंकि all these things will help him to or her to rejuvenate himself or herself. अगर तुम्हारा कोई हेल्प है, तुम किसी का सहारा बन सकते हो, तो वो सहारा बनो. You go for offering help and you do it. And always try to show sincere interest in the employee. कि आप एम्प्लॉय को सिंसियरली डील करते हैं, उसका प्रॉब्लम में आपका सिंसियरली आप डील करना चाहते हैं. दैट यू हैव टू शो टू द एम्प्लॉइज. लिसन, डोंट इंटरप्ट. वो जब बोलता रहेगा कभी उसको इंटरप्ट मत कीजिए. सॉरी, क्योंकि अगर इंटरप्ट कर दिया तो उसका जो फ्लो वो बंद हो जाएगा. बिकॉज ये इंटरप्शन क्यों बंद नहीं करेगा? बिकॉज यू आर ट्राइंग टू फाइंड आउट द रूट कॉज ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम. उसका जो गहरा प्रॉब्लम है उसको आपको निकालना है. ये सबके सामने नहीं होगा. सो काउंसल इन ए प्राइवेट वे. and counsel in a timely manner. Now, there are different methods of counseling. I am concentrating only one method, that is known as neuro-linguistic programming. This is a very popular method of counseling. Neuro-linguistic programming, which is in short known as NLP, which is a technique of counseling. Now, neuro-linguistic programming is an approach to psychotherapy. Online class আছে 1 ঘন্টা পরে কথা বলতে পারবো। Now, neuro-linguistic programming is an approach to psychotherapy and organizational change based on a model of interpersonal communication, chiefly concerned with the relationship between the successful patterns of behavior and the subjective experiences. That is the process of thought underlying them. There are so many techniques of counseling. The techniques which I will discuss here, it is the known as neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. Is an approach of psychotherapy. ये physiotherapy नहीं है. Psychotherapy means the therapy of mind and organizational change based on a model of interpersonal communication, and it is based on a model of interpersonal communication जहां पर एक आदमी बात करेगा, communicate करेगा, और एक आदमी सोचेगा, ये सुनेगा. This sort of communication technique is there, and which is chiefly concerned with the relationship between the successful patterns of behavior. It is concerned with the relationship between the successful patterns of behavior and subjective experiences. These two things are very important. It is mainly concerned with the relationship between successful patterns of behavior. What is the behavioral pattern of the people and what is their subjective experiences? These two things are very, very much important. Now, NLP is also a system of alternative therapy which seeks to educate the people in self-awareness and effective communication and to change their patterns of mental and emotional behavior. NLP is also a system of alternative therapy. Neuro-linguistic programming is also a system of alternative therapy. इसको एक alternative therapy बोलते हैं. उसका main उद्देश्य है, उसका main aim है to educate the people in self-awareness. That means the self-awareness, awareness of the people, own awareness of the people वो जागे, वो increase हो, so that कि इसका effective communication हो सके, and which can change their patterns of mental and physical behavior. अगर ये हुआ तो it can change the patterns of their mental and emotional behavior. If we can educate the people in self-awareness and effective communication and to change their patterns of mental and emotional behavior, this is very, very much important. NLP explores the relationship between how we think, how we communicate, both verbally and non-verbally, and our behavior and emotions. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. What is neuro? Neuro means what do we think? How do you think? How we communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. We communicate through our language, so it is the linguistic part. And whenever we are communicating, what is our behavior and emotions? Whenever we are communicating, when the counselor is communicating with the counseling through using some languages, both verbally and non-verbally, what is their emotions? What is their behavioral pattern? That comes under the purview of programming. So that's why these three things, that is neuro-linguistic programming, NLP is very important. N stands for neuro, that is the thinking aspects of the human beings. Linguistic aspects means how do you communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. And whenever we are communicating verbally and non-verbally, what is the behavioral pattern of the people to whom we are communicating? That is the how we are communicating to the counseling. So this is neuro-linguistic programming. and it definitely helps to bring about our self-development and change. It definitely helps us to go for the self-development, and it changes the behavioral pattern of the people who are known as the counselee, who were mentally sick but somehow been depressed from this psychosomatic illness. They can go for their self-development and change the set of mind. Ultimately, it will help them to go for work in the organization in the most productive way. Now, why this NLP is important? NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, as N stands for neuro, L stands for linguistic, and P stands for programming, is capable of addressing the full range of problems which the psychologists are likely to encounter, such as phobias, depression, habit disorder, psychosomatic illness, and learning disorder. NLP has been observed and it has been experimented that it has been able to fight out these situations of human mind. That is phobias, मतलब डर, किसी से डर हो गया, हमको मार देगा, हमको ये मर्डर कर देगा, ये some people start suffering from these phobias. And if these phobias continues कि हमको मार देगा, हमको पिटाई करेगा, तो ultimately it leads towards the depression of the human beings. ये डिप्रेशन आ जाएगा मन में, और ये डिप्रेशन से हैबिट डिसऑर्डर भी होगा। जो सुबह 6 बजे उठना चाहिए तो सुबह 9 बजे तक सोता रहेगा, 10 बजे तक सोता रहेगा। हम सबको नहीं बोल रहा है, जिसका हैबिट है 5 बजे उठना, अगर वो 11 बजे उठना शुरू कर दिया तो आप समझ लीजिए कि उसका टोटल मतलब सारा दिन का काम बिगड़ जाएगा। और हैबिट डिसऑर्डर के साथ साथ हो जाएगा साइकोसोमेटिक इलनेस, और जो आदमी टेंशन में रहेगा उसको सुनाई में भी दिक्कत होने लगेगा कि वो आ करने लगे, वो सम सॉर्ट ऑफ लर्निंग डिसऑर्डर्स आएगा। So NLP is an effective and rapid form of psychological therapy. So here we put the psychological therapy to the people. Now, how this NLP works? What is the methodology of NLP? That is neuro-linguistic programming. Experiential exercises, group interactions, experience sharing, simulation, instrumented feedback, and discussions. These are the ways कि experiential exercise, जो experience हम किया है पहले आदमी से, उसको फिर के ऊपर प्रयोग करो as per the situation. ग्रुप में इंटरैक्ट करो, एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करने दो, पहले ये सब देख लो फॉर दिस काउंसलिंग का पहले, फिर 1:1 में बैठो। इंस्ट्रूमेंटेड फीडबैक, क्या वो फीडबैक दे रहे हैं, उसका पीआर क्या फीडबैक दे रहे हैं, then you come for the discussion. That is 1:1 basis. This should be the methodology usually being followed in the NLP. And which are the expected participants? NLP किसके ऊपर किया जाते हैं? Who are the middle and senior, that means higher level management. Middle level is the target group. उसके ऊपर जो है टॉप मैनेजमेंट का ठीक नीचे मिडिल में 2 किस्म का मिडिल होता है, अपर मिडिल, लोअर मिडिल। तो ये लोअर मिडिल से स्टार्ट करके अपर मिडिल तक भी जा सकता है, दैट इज द सीनियर मैनेजर्स। Now, NLP is promoted as a science of excellence, derived from the study of modeling of how successful or outstanding people in different fields obtain their results. देखिए कभी क्या होता है कि whenever we give an example कि एक आदमी का कॉन्फिडेंस लूज हो गया कि हम और पढ़ाई में पास नहीं करेगा, हम रिसर्च ठीक ठाक नहीं कर पाए, उसको थोड़ा सा जो बड़ा बड़ा आदमी who have got their tremendous recognition in their field, उसका एग्जाम्पल लाओ कि अगर वो सका है तो तुमने वो क्यों सकेगा, तुम्हारे पास भी क्या लिया है, उससे बराबर क्या लिया है। So it depends on the study of modeling. मॉडल मतलब सपोज इकोनॉमिक्स में हम अमर्त्य सेन को मॉडल मानते हैं अभी मॉडर्न इकोनॉमिक्स में कि whatever he thought, what the model he suggested, because he got the Nobel Prize, he got the recognition. इंडिया में बहुत बड़ा बड़ा इकोनॉमिस्ट है, रघुराम राजन थे, अभी ये भी है, कौशिक बासु था, ये सब बड़ा बड़ा इकोनॉमिस्ट है। अभी वो जो अभिषेक विनायक बंदोपाध्याय गॉट द नोबेल प्राइज। तो किसी का बड़ा आदमी को आप सामने ले आओ और वो कैसे बड़ा हुआ उसका तुम हिसाब उसको दिखाने दो कि हाउ दिस पीपल हैव बिल्ड देयर कैरियर। सो ट्राई टू कंपेयर देम देयर कैरियर विद दिस फेलो एंड ट्राई टू मोटिवेट हिम कि हम तुम भी सकोगे। You have got that capability. Putting the example of models in front of them. NLP has a greater influence in management training, life coaching, and the self-help industry. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, has got a greater influence in management training, life coaching, and self-help industry. तीनों में, management training में भी इसको काम में लगता है, life coaching में, और self-help industry में भी बहुत सारा काम पे लगता है. So this is all about my presentation. Now I am inviting questions from the August participants. Yes. Yes, sir.
Sir, very nice and useful, tips on, how to conduct this kind of counseling. Sir, does a very, compassionate and a very nice leader is very essential to make a difference in functioning of an organization? I think a good leader with the compassion and understanding can solve most of the problems of the employees, and he can feel and understand. So if, sir, am I right? Am I audible?
Yes, you are
So,
audible.
sir,
Yes, you
yes,
are
sir.
audible.
Yes, sir. So my observation is that it's not a question. So I think it's, if organize, you cited good examples of the Nobel laureates, sir. They have brought profound and great transformation in the way the world thinks, and the welfare economics can be adopted to the real carrying on of activities of the world. So, sir, my point is that we have many corporate leaders who have set examples like Tata and this Narayan Murthy and stuff, who are great. I can say कि counseling, sir, उन type of company में requirement कम होता होगा, because the leaders are so great and great connected with their own employees, and they set examples by themselves. So, sir, I think one essential point, counseling is required, but if a great leader, if the company is fortunate to be headed by a good and a human person, I think great amount of problems will be solved. वैसे ही, sir. That's my observation.
That is absolutely correct, Nanda ma'am. These sort of things are absolutely required. That is solving the problem with humanistic approach, whatever I can say. That if you solve the problem, or if you handle any problem with a humanistic approach, I think that lot of problems can be solved. So it depends upon the attitudinal aspects of the management, as well as it depends upon the cultures, ethos, as well as what we can say, what the organization has been following. That way I can say that cultural ethos of Tata is much better than any sort of corporates even working in India. Their philosophy, their idealistic approach, if you compare with other industrialists, you will find that they are much superior, and in those cases these sort of problems are much less in case of Tata groups in comparison to the other groups. So lower counseling is required because of the humanistic approach of Tata group that I can have observed, and this is my personal opinion.
Nice, sir. Thank you so much.
Anybody, any question, any observation from the August participants? Any observations?
जी participant, any question, कोई observation आपकी regarding this session?
हमको क्वेश्चन लेने में अच्छा लगता है पवन जी, 2-3 क्वेश्चन ले लीजिए।
हाँ जी सर, हम 5 लीजिए सर।
Also, sir, I have another question. If you can permit me for another question.
No problem, no problem. You are most welcome.
हाँ सर, सर ये क्वेश्चन था कि जैसे मॉडर्न डेज में लाइक प्रॉब्लम तो होगी, पर्टिकुलरली कोरोना टाइम में तो बहुत कुछ काउंसलिंग की ज्यादा रोल दिखा गया है। तो सर जैसे पहले से हम एजुकेशन सिस्टम में ह्यूमैनिस्टिक एंड दिस काइंड ऑफ एटीट्यूड थिंग्स, मतलब जो अच्छे वर्कर्स बनाए, अगर हम अपने यूनिवर्सिटी सिस्टम में इनकॉर्पोरेट करें, we would may not require sort of psychologist and analyst to help us out. I think this can be a good tool to carry on. That is, if our universities, many university may be having, but many don't have as part of as a common curriculum compulsory for all students. That
Actually,
is to learn.
that is a very good proposal, ma'am. But actually, what happens ki we work in a governmental phenomena. That is the major problem. As we work in a governmental phenomena, that is the whenever, as I have told you, ki bureaucratic system of management sometimes hinders us in taking the right decision at the right time. But whatever you have suggested, that is absolutely what I can say justified, and it should be adopted by the university. Because I personally also observe ki a lot of students, specifically the outgoing students, they have become very much thoughtful about their careers, opportunities, and all these things. And the total system, actually, in India, that this is my personal opinion. There are around 850 state-aided universities. And all the universities, we have not that much of infrastructure with this population of 139 crores to run this online system in a befitting manner for the long run. And that's why the UGC has decided, yesterday I was seeing a circular issued by the UGC to reopen the system in a gradual manner, maintaining the COVID norms from December onwards. I think that we have to start from somewhere else. But whatever you have stated, that that arrangement should have been done by the universities. Thank you. Pavan ji?
जी सर जी.
Thank you so much, sir.
जी, thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session, or I can say informative session, in which you have covered time management, समय प्रबंधन पे जिस पे आपने बात करी, and the counseling, the latest motivation tools for HR. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. Again, I'm saying the same thing. And if the participant have any other observation, you may ask to sir. He is very kind enough, and I'm also grateful to you, sir, कि आपने हमारा invitation इतने short notice पे accept करा. उसके लिए भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका एक बार.
नमस्कार आपको भी.
जी जी, धन्यवाद सर, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर.
बहुत बहुत थैंक यू. शेफाली मैम को भी मेरे तरफ से बहुत
उनकी तरफ से भी आपको सर बहुत बहुत प्रणाम सर.
आपको
जी, आशा है कोविड की परिस्थितियां ठीक होने के बाद आपसे कैंपस में मुलाकात करेंगे सर.
थैंक यू सो मच.
जी जी, नमस्कार सर.
That will be a proud privilege for my part. Thank you so much.
Thank you sir. नमस्कार.
नमस्कार, प्रणाम. Okay, all the best. Thank you.
जी, नेक्स्ट सेशन जो हमारा रहेगा, that will start from 2:30, 1 hour break. और जो उसमें प्रेजेंटेशन रहेगी वो 4 ग्रुप्स की रहेगी. फर्स्ट वन इज स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्री, सेकंड वन इज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, थर्ड वन इज एजुकेशन, एंड द फोर्थ वन इज एग्रीकल्चर. सो ये चारों ग्रुप प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए तैयार रहें. कुछ पार्टिसिपेंट्स के आर्टिकल्स अभी तक नहीं आए हैं, तो प्लीज आज बाय टुडे इटसेल्फ आप अपने आर्टिकल सबमिट करा दें, अदरवाइज वो कंसीडर नहीं किए जाएंगे। डू आई नीड टू मेंशन द नेम ऑफ द पार्टिसिपेंट जिन्होंने सबमिट नहीं कराए हैं, और इट्स ओके?
यस सर, यस सर, एक बार बता दीजिए सर।
जी
हेलो
जी, तीर्थराज जी, तीर्थराज शर्मा जी, मोहिना जी।
Sir, I have submitted yesterday.
Yesterday at what time, ma'am?
In the evening.
ओके। सुचित्रा जी, आशीष यादव जी, शेखर शेट्टी जी, सुमा बुर्मा जी, मीना देवी जी, जयप्रकाश जी।
सर आज लंच में जमा करा।
Sir, I have submitted by tomorrow, by yesterday.
ओके।
हेलो
सर
हेलो
आज
सर,
सबमिट कर
दिस इज
देंगे सर।
सीमा बुमराह। सर मेरा
हाँ,
सबमिट
जोशी
हो
जी,
चुका
आपका भी
है।
रहता है।
हाँ सर आज कर देते हैं।
जी जी
हेलो
जी जी।
सर, मेरा सबमिट हो चुका है, मैं सबमिट कर चुकी हूँ।
ओके मैम, कभी आपने सबमिट कराया जी?
सर ये मैंने कोर्स स्टार्ट होने से 1 डे बिफोर कर दिया था सबमिट, मेल कर दी थी।
मैम आर्टिकल की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं।
सर आर्टिकल भी हो गया है सबमिट।
ओके, नहीं आप बता। ओके जी।
पवन जी मेरा हो गया, माधवी का? पवन जी माधवी का आ गया?
मैम आपको बेहतर जानकारी होगी, आपने कराया है नहीं?
सर करा तो दिया, रिसीव हो गया मतलब।
जी, मैं आपका देखना पड़ेगा, मेरे पास आपका नेम है नहीं फिलहाल, तो आई नीड टू
ठीक है सर।
चेक अगेन। तो जिनके भी आपने नहीं कराया, आपने आज सबमिट करा दें जी। और एक और मैसेज है प्रोफेसर आरपी तुलसियान जी की तरफ से आप सभी के लिए। कल वो बात कर रहे थे तो ही वाज लाइक कि पवन जी आप एक मेरा मैसेज जरूर कन्वे कर दें सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को, कि वैसे वो फीडबैक ले चुके थे बट हाँ फिर भी वो अपना रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन करते हैं। सो ही हैज रिक्वेस्टेड मी कि आप पार्टिसिपेंट को ये बोलें कि वो अपना जो फीडबैक है या तो ईमेल के माध्यम से या व्हाट्सएप के माध्यम से, जिसमें वो सारी अपनी एफिलिएशन और कॉलेज और यूनिवर्सिटी का नाम लिख के वो मुझे व्हाट्सएप करते हैं, मींस टू मी, so that I can forward to the प्रोफेसर आरपी तुलसियान। तो आप ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं और व्हाट्सएप कर सकते हैं ताकि मैं उनको मैसेज, आपका फीडबैक है वो फॉरवर्ड कर सकूं। ये मैसेज है प्रोफेसर आरपी तुलसियान जी की तरफ से, राइट जी? So we will be meeting at 2:30 now. Be ready for the presentation. And I request you all कि जब भी सेशन स्टार्ट होता है उससे पहले एक बार अपना माइक जरूर चेक कर लें कि हमारा म्यूट है या अनम्यूट है।
पवन जी जो आर्टिकल भेजना है वो ऐसे मेल में अटैच करके भेजना है?
जी जी, अटैच करके भेजना सर। ग्रुप में एक
मतलब जो वर्ड में टाइप
हमने
करेंगे
किया था UGC-BPS करके ना, उसमें रेडिफ मेल आना,
जी जी
आपको मेल करना है जी। आपका भी अभी तक दिक्कत नहीं है जी?
जी जी जी,
ठीक है जी।
ओके।
So we will be meeting at 2:30 now.
Okay sir,
thank you.
okay sir,
Okay.